Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome everybody to day 3 of the 2026 World Rowing Under-23 Championships. Thank you for joining us again this morning, all the way from Duisburg, Germany, and we are perched here on the finish tower at the edge of the Wedau Regatta Strecke. Looking forward to an incredible day of racing. So far, we've seen incredible races, starting with the heats on Thursday, followed by the small finals and the semi-finals yesterday. Those semi-finals decided who gets to race the A and the B finals today, and we start the day with 7 B finals for the places 7 to 12 overall, and at 10 o'clock sharp we have the first A final of the regatta with the PR3 women's single scull. My name is Tim van Vliet, and once again Neith Hayes is here in the commentary booth with me. Good morning, Neith. How much are you looking forward to the finals today?
Good morning, Tim. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of racing. Really excited for the first of the medals to be given out later this morning. During our preview there, we were looking at all the pedigree, all the new athletes who have been shining, and I don't think we've seen the full potential of a lot of the athletes yet, but we will today, and so I'm really excited. Particularly the women's double and the men's double are two that are kind of standing out to me. But of course we have the B finals as well coming up, and again, there's always really exciting and close racing in those. And we'll be kicking off in a few minutes with the first of those, the under-23 women's pair.
Yeah, and all these crews having raced at least 2 times from the heats on Thursday and then the semi-finals yesterday. These are the 6 boats that are lined up for the first race of the day, the under-23 women's pair. As we have a quick look down the order, here is the crew from Great Britain. Just a quick check of the oar lock. It happened to, I think, every rower that you forgot to check it, and it got a bit loose during training or racing. So it's always good to have that little bit of a check-up as you ready yourself for the start of your final. Here's the crew from Austria, a new combination, and if you're new to rowing, you can see the crews locking in their bow ball to that little plastic box on the left-hand side of the picture to make sure all the crews are at the same starting point. Here's the crew from Greece, looking very calm and cool here. I'm really impressed by the Greek crew so far. We'll talk a lot about the athletes from Greece today, I think. They're in lane 5, and now the camera will pan to this crew, the crew from Denmark, with Benediktsson and Trenta.
Also making up the B final of the women's pair, we have in lane 1 Kazakhstan, lane 2 Slovenia, and of course Great Britain, Austria, Greece and Denmark, as Tim mentioned here. So they're all getting ready to go. We'll be going in less than a minute. You can see some rowers sitting ready, some taking those last few deep breaths. Such an important...
Getting that calm, getting yourself ready. You can see all the athletes now perched in that starting position, ready to take that all-important first stroke of your race. And here we go, we have the green light. The athletes would have heard the buzzer. A nice clean start across the board. The first B final of the day is underway as we ride here with the crew from Great Britain as they go through their starting procedure together with Austria, Greece, Denmark, Slovenia, Kazakhstan. A nice even start all round, I'd say. And Neve, of course, these crews all raced semi-finals yesterday, but the lane assignment is perhaps something not everybody is completely familiar with. So what does it mean when that crew is racing from on all the way on the left-hand side versus one of the centre lanes?
Absolutely. So going by the times and their finishing positions in the last round of their racing, which would have been their semi-finals yesterday, the fastest of the crews are kind of matched together in the middle lane. So Great Britain, out of these 6 crews, would have been the fastest, along with Austria and Greece, and then Kazakhstan, Slovenia and Denmark would have had the slower of the times out of these 6 crews. So they make up the outside lanes. And so we are seeing now that Great Britain crew, who were about a second faster than the next fastest crew, which was Greece, through the semi-finals. They are now taking that early lead. Those first few strokes, those first few 100 metres, we often see, the rates getting up into the high 40s just so that they can get the speed going in the boat, get themselves up to speed, and then we're starting to see them settle now. Great Britain down at 37. We can see Kazakhstan down at 36, so that rate slightly changing now. But look at the aggression and the splashes coming off the oars here for Great Britain.
Yeah, they really moved out with a clear intention, especially in these smaller boat classes. It really pays to get a quick start and get your bow ball ahead. And you can see already Great Britain opening up here. A little bit of clear water separating them from the crew from Austria. Then it's Denmark third across the first timing mark, followed by Greece, Kazakhstan and Slovenia in hot pursuit. But Great Britain, you can see them here in the center of the picture, stretching out, and on the little graph on the left-hand side of your picture, you can see the relative speed in kilometers an hour, and you can see that Great Britain is the fastest moving boat out on the water at the moment.
They certainly are, and they keep opening up. That lead is now up to that 15 metres at this point. They're underrating a lot of the crews. Kazakhstan the lowest at 34, Great Britain holding at 36, but you can see there on the graphics, Austria and Denmark up at that 38. That Austrian crew there made up of Brummer in the bow, Exlanger in the stroke seat, who we saw at under-19s a few years ago in this boat class. A lot of new rowers out there on the water that we haven't seen on international level over the years, but that Greek crew are one that we did see at the under-19 Worlds last year, finishing sixth in the quad. So after moving from sculling, which is where they would have 2 oars each, to sweeping, where they have 1 oar each. Is that a hard transition, Tim?
Yeah, I think it is. Having rowed in both sweep and sculling boats myself, I really found the transition difficult, especially when you start out rowing sweep, as I did at university, then coming into a scull boat. I found that to be really difficult. Obviously, these athletes are of far higher caliber than I am, and you can really see that they have made this boat class their own. But especially sweep rowing in a pair, that's difficult. Perhaps one of the most difficult boats to row well, because all the input on one side of the boat is the responsibility of one person. So if it goes brilliantly, you're doing very well, but the slightest of hiccups in a pair causes the boat to not run as well. So far we're past halfway. Great Britain still in that leading position. The crew from Austria still in hot pursuit. I think not much chopping and changing in terms of positioning at the moment, but an interesting race here on the right hand side of the picture between Greece and Denmark. Denmark quick out of the blocks. They were third at 500 meters gone, but that Greek bow ball there really moving with the crew from Austria. As you can see, the crew from Austria, I do like the way they are rowing. You mentioned that there's a stroke in that crew from that boat from Austria. It has a little bit of experience, of course, at the under-19 level, but they look really composed in this third quarter.
Great shots here, and we're seeing it's a little sunnier today. We didn't really mention the weather. It's set to be a little bit hotter than it has been the last few days. It's about 21 degrees right now. There's that glare coming off the water, which makes things a little bit harder when you're out there. Everyone is wearing those sunglasses just to make sure that they're not totally blinded by that glare. But Austria here now up at that 38 strokes per minute. They're starting to wind it up here now and starting to pull away from that Greek crew, who are now also pulling away from the Denmark crew, who are still staying there pretty much alongside Slovenia, and then back to Kazakhstan.
Yeah, you could see the crew from Austria having that little bit of a push every now and then. I think they are aware that this crew from Great Britain is just a bit too far ahead at the moment. You can see the gap is more than 20 meters as we ride with Anna Cowell and Valentina Fenton in this GB pair, having rowed the entire season in the American collegiate system. Cowell for Stanford and Fenton for Princeton. They jumped into this pair and they are really making it work here, and you can see it's a 1.5 length of clear water ahead of the crew from Austria. Greece now really powerful push from the Greek combination of Galatzai and Natara. They moved into third overall ahead of Denmark, Slovenia and Kazakhstan with 500 meters to go.
And this is where we'll start to see things wind up and change a little bit as they either apply power or more rate or a combination of both, just to try and get that speed up towards the last kind of 350 metres that they're facing here now at the moment. Austria doing well to hold on to that second position. Greece in that solid third. Slovenia going to aim to come back a little bit here now. They're starting to close the gap ever so slightly. There's about 9 metres separating themselves and Greece at the moment. Again, this is the B final, so we're going for places 7 through 12 in the under-23 women's pair boat class.
Yeah, you can see Great Britain are also winding it up. Not as much rate as you mentioned. I think a little bit more power is applied in that GB pair. And a defensive move from the crew from Austria against the Greeks, I think. But on the far side, Slovenia also making a move now, rowing past Denmark. Kazakhstan out of this at the moment, but here is the crew from GB with just 100 meters left to go. It's difficult to imagine them not winning this, but all the crews here are sprinting, and the Greek crew actually fastest boat on the water by quite a margin.
Yeah, and Great Britain keeping that rate down at 36, and actually Austria starting to move a little bit closer to them ever so slightly. Not enough to, 50 metres to go, they're not going to catch them, but just how confident GB are there now to keep that rate nice and solid and not panic with the side of Austria coming towards them, and they take the win in the final B of the women's pair. Yeah,
and Greece out sprinting Slovenia for third. And Denmark then across the line 5th, and Kazakhstan complete the field 6th overall.
There we have official results of the B final of the women's pair. Great Britain taking the win there, Austria second, Greece in third, Slovenia in fourth, followed by Denmark and Kazakhstan. And we're going to be joining the next B final, and that is the under-23 men's pair. We have 6 boats. We have Spain, Serbia, USA, Germany, Brazil and China. At 500 metres, it was Germany taking the lead ahead of Spain and People's Republic of China. United States of America back and forth, followed by Brazil and Serbia, but they're starting to approach that halfway mark now.
Yeah, right there on the dot you can see the German combination, Ola Hanak and Enicio Flurta, really going out strong, and that's a hallmark of most crews from Germany. A very fast opening 500, establishing that early lead and then having that little bit of a cushion back towards the other crews in this B final. Of course, Germany in one of the center lanes, so they were the quicker of these crews to qualify for this B final. As you can see them here with Brazil also moving through the picture here with Da Roja Siqueira and Da Costa Marquez, who are also racing all out here in the B final. You can actually see them currently. They're trailing a little bit behind the USA for the 5th place overall, but Germany have that comfortable cushion still on Spain. People's Republic of China now struggling a bit. They're in a battle with the crew from Serbia. You can see how close the racing is here from these pictures behind the Germans. Basically 5 crews abreast here.
They certainly are. USA were the fastest of these through the semi-finals yesterday, so surprised to see them that little bit back from Germany at the moment. We have Jack Kastner in the bow seat, Francis McGrath in the stroke seat of USA, who we saw at under 19 level a few years ago in the 8. The Spanish crew as well, they have a bit of experience together rowing at the European under 23s a couple of years ago, winning a bronze medal in the 8. Everyone else are pretty much a new combination as they come in towards their final 500 metres.
Yeah, they're absolutely going for it. I just had a quick look at the crew from Brazil, that 40 strokes a minute already. That's a sprint finishing rhythm here, and they are in the race of their lives because the rest of the crews aren't waiting around here. The Spanish crew on the far side dropping back. I think that crew from Serbia doing really well here. The experience of these two athletes, Dedic and Luletia, they both raced at the University of California this year, jumping developing into a pair and representing their home nation is, of course, an honor and a privilege. And they are moving on the Germans in the final quarter here. Look at them go, quickest boat on the water, and it's just half the length of an advantage for the Germans at the moment.
That Serbian crew are really going for it here. They've raced together, winning a gold medal in the pair in the under-19s back in 2022, and here they are after coming back together. They have it down to 2 metres now. Fastest moving boat out there. They still have about 200 metres to go. They are absolutely going to catch Germany. Yeah,
I think they are. And USA also moving. I think not enough to get second of the Germans here, but Serbia now decisively in the lead. Look at the speed of that Serbian crew, absolutely flying here, and in their wake the Americans pushing on the German lead as well. So it's an amazing sprint here by the Serbians. I think they are past now, a little bit of a cushion, but the Germans are responding, taking it up to more than 40 strokes a minute here. It's an amazing final sprint to the line. Germany just half a canvas down on Serbia. I think the Serbians have done enough to get the win here, but what a fantastic final B here. Serbia take it ahead of Germany. The Americans sprint through the Spanish for third, and then it is Brazil just ahead of the People's Republic of China for fifth and sixth.
Here we go, official results of the B final of the men's pair. Serbia taking a late win there. That was a brilliant sprint from them for the last 250 metres, taking Germany. USA in third, followed by Spain, Brazil and People's Republic of China. As we move on to our next B final, it is the women's double sculls. We have in lane 1 Belgium, lane 2 Switzerland, lane 3 individual neutral athletes 1, lane 4 Germany, lane 5 Brazil, lane 6 Italy. At 500 metres, it was the crew from individual neutral athletes 1 taking the lead ahead of Belgium and Switzerland.
Yeah, but at the moment we dive into the action, and here is the picture at halfway, and a massive push by the Belgian crew of Helsen and Giesels. Disappointed to be racing the B final here today. I know for a fact that they were aiming for that A final, but were relegated to this B final through yesterday's semi-finals. They look quite comfortable, about a length ahead of Germany at the moment, and the individual neutral athletes of Vasilieva and Rusak in one of the center lanes. That's a third crew from the right. They went for a huge push before the 500 meter mark to get themselves back into the action, because Germany and Belgium weren't waiting around. Switzerland and Italy following closely behind the leading pack, and Brazil just outside of the picture at the moment, sixth, and they are trailing by about 25 meters plus as we ride with the leaders here on the big screen. You can see the Belgian blades there together with the Swiss, who are currently occupying fourth at this stage of the race.
Every one of the rowers that we see on the water here have represented their country at some point at either under 19 or under 23 level. Just a few of them racing together. That Brazilian crew we saw at the under 23s last year in the double sculls. They were 11th overall or 5th in the B final. Let's see if they can do a little better this year. We also have returning members. We have Helsen in that Belgian crew. She's in the bow seat there. She came from the 4 last year, and they're looking really, really strong. Again, when it's unfortunate that you miss out on an A final place, but then I think you get to go out there and prove yourself in a B final like this.
Yeah, you can really make amends in the B final by winning it decisively, and at the moment the Belgians are doing exactly what they have to do to make that point. Germany, I think, closing in a little bit in this third quarter. Brenke and Luster, of course, as you mentioned, Niamh, experienced experienced athletes at the different age categories, and they are really pushing that Belgian lead at the moment. You can see a little bit of a response from Belgium as well. Those are the two crews to watch for the win here, and behind them it's still nothing to choose between the individual neutral athletes, Italy and Switzerland for third overall, as we ready ourselves. So this is that final bit. The legs are hurting, the arms, everything is hurting, and now it's just a matter of going for that final sprint, and the Germans are unfolding that sprint as we see.
They certainly are looking at their speed. They're the fastest moving boat out there and just getting themselves ahead of Belgium here now into the last 250 metres. They're into the red marker boys here. They're up at 39 strokes per minute. Can they hold on for those 200 metres? Belgium starting to respond here now. They're at that 38 strokes. They're staying right up alongside them. Italy after moving themselves now into third.
Yeah, the Italians can sprint, and at the moment, but outside of the picture here, the individual neutral athletes also really going for it. The Belgian crew now the quickest boat on the water. We ride with the Germans here, but they are not leading at the moment. That is this crew from Belgium. Helse and Giesels have the lead, and they are extending that lead. Fantastic sprint. They're up at 40 strokes a minute, rowing away from this German Baubel in the last few meters. So they saw that threat, they responded in kind, and Belgium will take the win here in the B final ahead of Germany, who are a good length ahead of the crew from Italy, who narrowly beat the individual neutral athletes Vasilieva and Rusak for third and fourth. And then across the line, it was Switzerland ahead of Brazil for places 5 and 6. I really like these pictures. What a completely different picture than we saw from the previous race in the women's pair, which was won rather convincingly. But here you can see that it took every ounce of strength from the Belgian crew to beat the Germans here on home water. And here are the results confirmed. So Belgium take the win here ahead of Brenke and Lusser from Germany, and Italy, good sprint on their hands to beat Vasilieva and Rusak for third. Moving to the next B final, we move into the men's double sculls. The B final, we have Greece, Spain, Great Britain, Norway, Slovenia, and again a crew from Belgium. We'll have to wait and see if the Belgians can pull off the same trick twice. And we dive straight into the action. We just passed 1,000 meters.
Yes, indeed. Through the start of the race, Great Britain just took off really strong. They've been holding on to that lead right from the get-go, really. Spain holding on to a second position that they built up early on. Then there's been a tussle between Belgium and Norway for that third spot. It currently is going the way of Belgium. Greece very much is sitting alongside them as well. They're currently in that fifth position, followed by Slovenia. You can see here them going through the line here. Great Britain pulling away, but Spain the fastest moving boat out there at the moment, starting to close the gap slightly on the lead that Great Britain built up in the first half of the race.
Yeah, GB looking cool. I think most crews from Great Britain have that really steady middle thousand, and if previous results are anything to go by, I'd expect a big push from the combination of Foxwell and Morris. Here they are, Morris there in the stroke seat. He's a Leeds Rowing Club athlete. He's just 19 years of age, so really young to be racing here at the under-23s, but he is going for that little bit of a push here. But Spain also going almost simultaneously with GB to push ahead in this probably most difficult bit of the race, because you're still so far from the finishing line, but it's still overlap between Great Britain and Spain. Then there's that little bit of a gap of clear water ahead of Slovenia, Norway, Greece and Belgium. So I don't think we're going to see a repeat performance from the Belgian squad here, with two clear front runners, and that Spanish crew really looks ominous there in the second position. I think they actually closed the gap down slightly here.
Yeah, both of these crews, Great Britain and Spain, may be surprised and disappointed to not be in the A final as well. Their times through the semi-final yesterday would have got them into an A final if it went off times, but unfortunately it doesn't work like that. It was based on their positions, and yes, they have it down there right up alongside Great Britain now. Spain, but they are the faster moving boat out of the two of them and just putting themselves into that lead. They have 250 metres to go here now. Spain have been holding a high rate all the way down. They're up at 41, 42 right now. So here is Great Britain starting to match them with the rate.
Yeah, all crews above 40. At least these two are. The Spanish at 44 strokes a minute. Could you believe that? They're absolutely going for it. And I think Great Britain really struggling to keep pace with the Spanish. It's a brilliant push by that Spanish combination, 46 strokes a minute, but GB nearly matching them here. But GBs don't get the same boat speed out of it as the Spanish row past. It's nearly a full length lead now with just 30 meters to go. It's a fabulous sprint by the Spanish. Hats off to them. They take the win here in the B final. Well-timed sprint. And the British not able to respond. And a brilliant race here down on the bottom half of your screen between Slovenia and Norway. Absolutely going for it. But here you can see the winners with the crew from Norway now drifting through the picture. And a little thumbs up there from the Spanish bowman Danilo Marquez Espinosa to Great Britain for a brilliant race here. And a fair fight, and the Spanish got there in the end. And boy, you could see how much it's hurting Alexandru Munuz in the stroke seat. He really went for it. But we get the official results, and in the end, nearly 2 seconds. So that's more than a length for Spain ahead of GB, Slovenia, Belgium. De Pla and Taaldeman got close in the end, ahead of Greece and Norway.
Next, we move on to the B final of the women's four. This time we have People's Republic of China in lane 1, Czechia lane 2, Australia lane 3, Ireland in lane 4, Austria lane 5, and individual neutral athletes lane 6. They are just coming up to that 500 metre mark here now. Czechia leading this one out at the moment ahead of Australia, Ireland, Austria, individual neutral athletes, and People's Republic of China. Close here going through that first 500 metres, but we'll start to see things spread out a little bit now.
Yeah, I think again settling in that mid-race pace as we ride here with the Irish, and panning to the crew from Austria with Katharina Nackler here in the stroke seat. And again that crew from Austria, they really look polished in terms of technique, really nicely together, and they are currently sitting in the middle of the pack at fourth at 500. And the centre lanes, of course, that the crew from Ireland and Australia, those are the one to watch together with Czechia, the early leaders. But I feel the Czech crew is starting to feel the strain a bit with the Irish now the quickest boat on the water.
Yeah, Ireland made up of a very strong crew here in the bow seat. Ayla O'Neill, we have Sivalny Flavartic in the 2 seat, Isabella Devitt in the 3 seat, and Holly Davis stroking them out. She's a 2-time medalist at under 19 level. We saw her in the single last year at under 23s and making her way to the 4 this year. But it is still Czechia who we're with here now on our screens, staying in that touching distance with Ireland. Next to them as well, we have Australia sandwiched in between the two of them. All 3 boats, you can see just how close they are at the moment. They'll start to approach that 1,000 metres here now, so some of the crews will start to maybe put on a bit of an early push here now, but it looked like Australia just about with Ireland and Czechia, all 3 really going through together here.
Yeah, really loving this halfway, and there's 3 crews abreast. You can see how little there is separating Czechia, Australia and Ireland. Identical boat speed at the moment, and those 3 are slowly but surely separating themselves from the individual neutral athletes, People's Republic of China and this crew from Austria, as we come into the thick of the action in the third quarter. Ireland going for a little bit of a push, and they have their bow balls in front, but it's a few feet, it's not much, but they are currently leading this B final ahead of Australia and Czechia.
This is a great shot to see how the boats are set up differently, with the stroke in the Ireland with her oar out to the left-hand side, and in the other two boats it's out to the right-hand side. Does that make a difference on a day like today, Tim?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think you want the best technical model from a stroke. So in this case, we look at Holly Davis, the Lee Valley Rowing Club athlete, and she's just giving, apart from providing that really consistent rhythm, it is important to have somebody who can lead the action from that stroke seat, and they are really going for it. I'm really impressed by this third quarter from the Irish as they put more distance into Australia and Czechia at the moment. The Aussies still look good, but I think at the moment it's nearly half a length, pushing 3/4 of a length now for the Irish, so that's a good push, and I'm sure the crews beside them are also really pushing at this stage of the race as we come to 1500.
Yeah, you can see the lead now that Ireland have built up ahead of Australia and Czechia. Then we have individual neutral athletes going through, followed by Austria and People's Republic of China. We have 500 metres to go. Looking at the rates, Ireland have been up at 39 for the last 200 metres or so. They are still the fastest moving boat out there and starting to pull away from Australia. Whether it can be sustained for 400 metres, let's see. But they're looking very, very strong here now at the moment. Australia is hanging on, but they're just not as quick as that Irish crew now. Australia at 38 strokes per minute, and Czechia just falling back slightly.
Yeah, I think Czechia is not really able to respond here as the crew from Ireland are really moving. I think they've put a little bit more distance in the Aussies as well. The individual neutral athletes on the right-hand side of your picture also pushing on. And that's the crews we're occupying ourselves with at the moment as the Irish keep on moving. It's still that high rate of striking, 40 strokes a minute now being set by Holly Davis, and I think they are making it work so far. This is looking good for the Irish.
Yes, Australia's speed starting to come up as well here now, but Ireland are just keep getting quicker. They're up at 41 strokes per minute. We can hear there's big support here from Ireland. We can hear them from the grandstand. I know there's a lot of support from home as well. Australia matching them now with that stroke rate, but just not getting the same speed out of themselves. Here we go, last 50 metres.
Yeah, well done. I think Holly Davis is not looking pretty anymore, but it is effective. It's a grit and determination from the Irish that sees them across the line first ahead of Australia. Then it's the crew from Czechia who got third overall ahead of the individual neutral athletes, and then really close call between the People's Republic of China and Austria. I think just a bit too close to call from our commentary position, but no doubt about the winners of this B final. Ireland did very well. I mean, I'm so impressive. That high rate of striking, basically from start to finish, and a good, decent margin, more than 2 seconds ahead of Australia.
Absolutely, to keep that speed up and to keep being able to pull that distance away from Australia, that was brilliant. It doesn't always happen when you up the rate, but they certainly were able to increase their speed. So here are the results. Ireland taking the win in the B final of the women's four, followed by Australia, Czechia in third position. Then we have individual neutral athletes, Austria and People's Republic of China, as we head back up the course now for the B final of the men's four. France lane 1, Canada lane 2, Chile lane 3, Germany lane 4, Denmark lane 5 and Switzerland lane 6 at 500 metres. Germany leading this one out, Tim.
Yeah, no surprise to see this German crew leading. Of course, they got a bronze medal, or at least the Germany got a bronze medal last year. A few of these athletes returning in this boat, and I think they would have liked so much to get into the A final, which is later today, but they are really making this B final their own. The pace there being set by Maximilian Brill in the stroke seat. He's looking very sharp at the moment, and the closest crew to the Germans is a crew on one of the outside lanes. I think that's the French crew that is closest to the German bow ball, but it's really close. We're only at 800 meters gone, pushing on that halfway mark, and Germany doing what we've been seeing over the past few days: lead early on and then hold on to your lead, and so far so good for this crew from Germany.
And here we go through that halfway mark. Germany with that nice lead over 1 second. Then it is France in second position, followed by Canada. Just a little bit back then to Chile, Denmark and Switzerland. Germany just pulling, they look very strong there in the middle, holding 37 strokes per minute. Switzerland already up at 40 with, 900 metres to go. It's a high rate to have, but again, we're seeing a lot of these crews are able to sustain it all the way down.
Yeah, I think it's a term. It's also what matches with your style of racing, and of course you can adjust the gearing on the oars to facilitate a little bit of higher rating for the full 2,000 meters. I think back in the day we had a really heavy gearing, so you'd see fewer strokes a minute. But it's been a hallmark of modern rowing, I should say, that crews are able to maintain that high 38, 39 strokes a minute, even in the smaller boat classes, and not just in the eights. But in the third quarter, Germany still hold on. Canada now really pushing on the French, and I'm really curious to see what this crew from Chile can do. They had a brilliant sprint yesterday, just missed out on the A final. They're at 39 strokes a minute, but I remember them taking up way above 40 in the final 500, and we'll just have to wait and see what that blue boat, third from the left, can do in the final sprint. But Germany still look good, 3/4 of a length ahead of Canada and France at the moment.
Canada just staying ahead of France, but France were just slightly faster with their speed as they go through that 1,500 metre mark. So France really trying to get back into that second position here ahead of Canada. Germany still looking very strong, getting the most metres out of their strokes along with Canada here. So per stroke they're getting 8.5 metres distance every time they put their oars in the water and push with those legs. Canada looks like Germany they're sticking there, they're holding, they're at that 39 strokes per minute. Everyone else heading into those 40s now.
Yeah, I think this is the ceiling of Germany in terms of rate, I feel, and they are in a good position still. Canada really moving now. The French up at 42 strokes a minute, trying to close down the gap, but not really making an impression at the moment. We've passed into the red buoy area. That's just 200 meters to go. You can count the strokes down in your head if you're racing, and Germany really taking it up a gear now. We thought they hit their ceiling, but it's 41 strokes a minute now from these Germans to stay ahead of France, who is now overtaking Canada once again.
Yes, they are, and France a little bit faster. Canada are trying to respond here now. They are right up alongside each other with 70 metres to go. France just holding on to that second position, going by their speed. They're going to hang on there. Chile, as you mentioned, their speed is up there as well, one of the faster moving boats out there. But it is Germany going to take the win of the B final of the men's four. Looking like France and Canada very, very close. Let's wait for official confirmation there from them. And then we had Denmark, Switzerland and Chile. Again, we'll wait for confirmation on official results. There we have it. France coming just ahead of Canada for that second position, with Denmark in fourth.
Yeah, and Denmark, difficult to tell them apart because of the vests. Here are the Danes. You can have Simon Mikkelsen there in the bow seat of Denmark, fourth overall ahead of Chile, who actually rode through Switzerland in the final 250 meters. But Germany led from pillar to post in this B final for the men's Coxless 4. With that, we move into the men's quadruple sculls. The B final, we have the People's Republic of China racing from lane 1, the Netherlands lane 2, Australia lane 3, France lane 4. Then we have the individual neutral athletes in lane number 5 and Slovakia in lane 6. And we dive straight into the action at halfway. A really closely packed field at the moment with one crew leading. That's the crew from Australia. But behind them, there's very little to choose between the Netherlands, Slovakia, France and the individual neutral athletes.
Yeah, very close at this stage of the race. And again, this is where we're seeing these crews starting to wind things up as they come in to 800 metres to go. Australia and Slovakia keeping those speeds up nice and high. The Australians fastest through the semi-finals out of these 6 crews yesterday. Individual neutral athletes were just 1 second behind them. They're currently in that 4th position. France already on that descent, that sprint, should I say ascent, 42 strokes per minute as they head into 650 metres to go. Just one crew we saw returning exactly as they were from last year's under-23 championships. That is the crew from Slovakia. They finished 9th overall in this boat class. So hoping to do that a little bit better at the moment. They're sitting 2nd here in the B final, which would be 8th overall in this boat class. But still Australia looking strong here and staying ahead of them.
Yeah, it's about a quarter of a length or perhaps half a length advantage for the Aussies at the moment, with Jasper Boys in the stroke seat. The Aussies cruising, I'd say, at 37 strokes a minute ahead of Slovakia, France, the individual neutral athletes, and the Netherlands. The only crew not really able to maintain the high pace set by the Aussies at the moment is the crew from the People's Republic of China. But I'm really curious to see if the crew from Slovakia, with that extra year of experience, what's it going to give them in the final sprint. They are not really at full tilt just yet, as these Aussies still control the race from the front.
They certainly do, and we have 250 metres to go. Those red boys that we're seeing on our screen, they mark the last 250. Australia are holding on that lead at the moment. It is France who are the faster moving boat here and closing very much on Slovakia here now, but Australia getting that speed up. France look like they're going to take Slovakia though.
Ooh, that's an amazing turn of speed by the French. They started sprinting really early, as you remember, but to row through Slovakia, that would be an amazing upset. The green and gold of Australia now also stepping it up. Quickest boat on the water, but the French really pushing for the second here in the B final. It's just a metre separating them from Slovakia, as I'm really impressed by the Aussies though. They're going to take the win, but on the line I think France will actually take it on the surge. Whoa, that was close. You reckon Slovakia just about got that whisker ahead of France, who beat the individual neutral athletes into 4th. The Dutch crossing the line ahead of the People's Republic of China, but a little bit of a crab caught there by Oliver Evans-Wood in the bow seat of that Aussie quad. But I think they're happy with that performance. They looked pleased. And here's official confirmation. Slovakia just got that 0.2 of a second ahead of France. And then it was behind the individual neutral athlete, indeed, the Netherlands, with Beer Florijn in the stroke seat, who got 5th ahead of China.
And that rounds out our B finals for day number 3. We are back in just a few minutes. We'll be getting going with the A final. So the first of the medals will be given out. We have the PR3 women's single scull and men's single sculls to come, and then we have all the A finals of the pairs, the doubles, the fours and the quads, as well as some mixed heats a little later on. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back at 9:55 local time, with racing getting going at 10 a.m. So welcome back to the World Rowing Under 23 Championships, and it is the turn of the A finals. Lots of medals up for grabs over the next couple of hours. We will have the pairs, the doubles, the fours, the quads, but right now it is the turn of the PR3 Under 23 women's single sculls. We have 3 rowers competing here for those medals.
Yeah, and because there are 3 athletes competing here, there's only the gold and the silver medal up for grabs. Here is the athlete from Uzbekistan, Dinara Beliana. Of course, a gold medalist in the mixed double a few weeks ago when World Rowing visited that really fast course in Poznan. But that was in the mix. Here is this is the moment for individual glory, so to speak. And talk about individual glory. Here is Susanna Lutze from Australia. She's really keen on getting that gold medal, and she's looked so calm and collected when we saw her racing in the preliminary race. And she's also in full focus as we have just under 1.5 minutes to go until we start the first A final of today. Rocío Fraguela Moas from Spain, also looking absolutely completely focused, and that is, I mean, there's quite a race to go. It's 2,000 meters, but for these athletes, I mean, the world's best time, or the World Championship's best time in this event is 8 minutes 10 seconds. So that's a long time to keep your focus, and of course you're doing it all by yourself, and I think that really separates single scullers from the ones who prefer to race in crew boats, because you're all by yourself, and it takes a lot out of these athletes, both from a physical point of view but also from a mental point of view. And these are those really tense moments for the start, and it's just you, your boat, your oars, and that tower. And that tower, the white tower there, the umpire who directs the starting procedure is looking at all the crews, so you can hear the umpire now calling the crews to attention. You can hear the heartbeat as the crews get themselves ready, blades locked in, as we have a quick roll call from the umpire. And you could hear the buzzer there. We have the green light. A very quick start by Uzbekistan. Those first few strokes were really rapid, but quickest out of the blocks is Rocío Fraguela Moas from Spain. And look at the march. She's already getting on the Australian to her left. Out of the blocks, those first few strokes of the Spanish sculler were worth nearly half a length now, as all the crews come up to that top speed. So you see the crews accelerating those shell in the first few strokes. And they try to maintain that top speed for as long as they can. And we're outside of the 100 meters point now, as we see Susanna Lutze from Australia really making a big power move here, and she's currently taking the lead.
We saw these 3 rowers on Thursday, the first day of competition, through the preliminary races. So because there was just 3 entries in this, they raced in a preliminary race, which is where they get to go out, experience the course, try and row a nice fast time, and then they're basically racing for lanes. So the quickest of the rowers was Susanna Lutze of Australia. That is why she is in that middle lane. She pulled an 8:41 in the preliminary race. It was Spain's Fraguela Moas then in second position in the preliminary, followed in by Beliania of Uzbekistan in third position, about 13 seconds back. But she's staying very close here now, staying within touching distance of Spain at the moment. Now, PR3, what does that mean? These are athletes with physical or visual impairments who have functional use of their legs, trunk and arms, so they can use the standard sliding seat that we see in all these kind of classic rowing boats. And look at the lead now that Susanna Lutze of Australia is pulling.
Yeah, impressive opening 500 by the 22-year-old from the Mercantile Rowing Club in Victoria, Melbourne. and she is really opening up a huge lead. And we saw her do something quite similar in the preliminary race, but I don't think the gap was as big as it is now. It's more than 6 seconds at the first timing mark ahead of Spain and Uzbekistan, who are going to fight for that silver medal. But looking at this, I'm so impressed by the way she applies her power, and you can see here, nice relaxed shoulder. She really makes sure that blade gets connected at the front end of the stroke, and she's really sort of using that leg drive to full effect before she opens her backswing, and then sort of really calmly finishes the strokes with her arms before she takes the blade out of the water again. You could see the puddles of the Australian here in this picture as we ride with the two athletes giving chase. Closest to us is Rocío Fraguela Moas from Spain. She was really quickly out of the blocks, settles into that mid-race pace, but just half a length behind her. We find Diana Beliania from Uzbekistan.
All three of these athletes making their under-23 World Championship debut. This last year was the first time running this event, this single scull in the PR3 para event. But these rowers actually have quite a bit of experience under their belt. The Spanish rower there, Fraguela Moas, that is closest to us on our screen. We saw her in Shanghai last year at the World Championships, that senior level, where she finished first in the B final of the PR3 mixed coxed. For Uzbekistan, then Beliania, we saw her racing at the World Cup 2 earlier this year in the PR3 mixed doubles, as well as she raced in Shanghai as well, finishing 7th in that race as well. That's the mixed double sculls. But this lady, this rower, Susanna Lutze, raced already twice this year on the international scene. World Cup 3, where she won a bronze medal in the PR3 mixed 4, Cox 4, and the World Cup 2, she won a gold medal in the PR3 women's double sculls as well. She's also featured at the Paris Paralympics, finishing 5th overall in the mixed coxed 4, and she's been internationally racing since back in 2023. So much experience wearing the gold and green of Australia. But this is kind of their final chance, Tim, to race the single sculls in this PR3 category.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier also on the first day of competition, that this is their only chance in this particular PR3 category to race for personal glory at the under-23s. And she is, well, making her move. Look at the gap. I mean, we talked a lot about hidden potential, but you can see that the Australian is really going for it, keeping that stroke rate up at 30 strokes a minute, while we see Fraguela Moas from Spain perilously close to the buoy line. I think she made a little bit of a steering correction just a few strokes ago, and she's back in her lane, and she's opened up a decent margin ahead of Beliania from Uzbekistan here. But yeah, look at how controlled this Australian sculler is. The way the blade sort of moves through the water, you can really see the application of the power from the leg drive to the backswing, and then finishing that off with a little bit of extra power with the arms. It's wonderful to see, and it's so consistent. It's like a metronome, still at that 30 strokes a minute, and she's 100 meters ahead of the two athletes giving chase, who are locked in that battle for the silver medal. But if she just keeps this up, that's a gold medal for sure for the Aussies.
Absolutely, too. And the Australians we're seeing very strong. We'll see another strong Australian coming up in the men's single sculls in that PR3 category a little later on. But yes, this is kind of at that age category. It's their final chance to be in the single scull before when it gets to senior level, they can race in the mixed doubles or the coxed 4s as well. But all about that personal glory. Different style of rowing here now from Beliania of Uzbekistan. Big long lie back here. Yeah,
she's not the tallest athlete. I think Lutze from Australia here is the tallest, but you could see Beliania making the absolute most of every little bit of length she got, really using that backswing to full effect. And she was looking towards the Spanish athlete who is more or less at the same distance. Not much happening in terms of margins behind Spain and Uzbekistan at 1500. But I think a really powerful move from the Spanish athlete as well, as Australia keeps walking away. Just 300 meters to go for Susanna Lutze, and she's really in a class of her own. And what I find so impressive, especially at these under-23 World Championship, that almost all the athletes here combine top-level rowing with an academic degree. So, for example, the Australian is following a bachelor's degree in health science, and to combine both those things, it's really tough. But and then to perform here at the world level, I can't not be impressed with these performances. With just a few hundred meters to go, 150 meters to go, the Australian really enjoying this ride in, and the Spanish and Uzbekistani scullers now also coming into the final 250.
Yes, we were with the Spanish and Uzbekistani sculler there a moment ago, but back to Susanna Lutze of Australia. What a great shot of her all the way down. This is her view. This was exactly what she was able to see as she pulls away here. And look at her, like her speed, 15 kilometres per hour is what she's getting out of herself and out of her boat. And here she comes to take the first gold medal of the World Rowing Under-23 Championships 2026. Susanna Lutze of Australia, the PR3 women's single sculls.
And we'll have a close eye on the time she posted, because I mentioned earlier that the World Championships best time is 8 minutes 10 seconds. So I think we have a World Championships best time being set here with 8:09. So that's just a little bit quicker. And boy, is she pleased. I think she went all out, and I really appreciate that.
Yes, when you're so far ahead, it can be hard. You can, maybe use it as more of a, maybe I won't say training session, but, not get the most out of yourself. But she really went for it, and you could see her speed and her rate going up towards the end as well. Perhaps that she had that 8:10 in her mind and wanted maybe to get a little bit faster than that. But just those close-up shots of her there a moment ago really show the emotion, the energy that she spent in that race, and well done to her. Of course, here we have the Spanish sculler Rocío Fraguela Moas, who got that silver medal.
Yeah, well done to her. She really rode away. I think she put a few more seconds in Dinaria Beliania from Uzbekistan to claim that silver medal overall. And hats off to her. We'll see both Susanna Lutze and Rocío Fraguela Moas later at the victory ceremony. But that concludes the first A final here at the Under-23 World Championships. And from the women's single sculls, the PR3, we move to the next race, and that is, of course, the men's. And we can see the boat here. Not all crews race with this particular model, with the little outboard flotation. You can see the athletes here being lined up at the start. We still have a few minutes to go before we get cracking. You can see the finalists right here. We have France, Italy, Australia, Uzbekistan, and the home favourite, Germany, Jan Rothländer, closest to the camera. And they'll be going through a very similar procedure. Here is the French sculler, 16 years of age, Erwan Chamolio from France. He hails from the north west of France, from Brittany, and he's very recently qualified for this regatta. You could see the nerves on his face a little bit. You could really see here's a more experienced athlete from Italy.
Yes, we have Igor Zappa representing Italy. He has raced in that blue unisuit before, representing Italy. In lane 3 then we have Australia. I'm looking forward to seeing this performance as well from Sam Stunnell. He's looking very strong through. We saw him in the preliminary races on the first day of racing on Thursday as well. So lots of experience. He does look a little bit calmer as well. Next up in lane number 4, it is Uzbekistan, Akbaralali Abduvaliyev.
Yeah, we of course seen him racing with Dinaria Beliania, who we just saw race the first A final. They raced together in the mixed double as well, but here he is also going for personal glory. And here's the man I already mentioned, Jan Rothländer from Ruderclub Bergedorf, so a local favorite here, and there are plenty of German fans already lining the banks here close to the finish tower, and he'll be greeted with a wall of noise and support when he gets into the final 500 meters, no doubt.
Great to see the mix of experience and new rowers as well. We have two 16-year-olds here at the start line. We also have two rowers returning from last year, not only fourth place but also the reigning champion. We'll tell you all about that throughout the race. But here we go, last few moments. We have to give a shout out to the volunteers here as well, Tim. They do such an important job.
Yeah, without the volunteers, none of this was possible, and these volunteers have perhaps the most crucial job of the regatta. You can see them holding on to the boats. They make sure that boat is secure from the stern. The front of the boat is locked in the little plastic clog. But these volunteers have that crucial job of keeping that boat steady so the athletes can relax for that last few minutes ahead of the start and make sure that boat comes out of that starting procedure clean and fair. And yeah, they really have a tough job because they're out there all the entire day, and it's always great to see that little bit of personal contact when the athletes sort of telling the volunteers what to do to make sure their boat is perfectly straight, because you see not all the crews perfectly straight at the moment. So I'm sure right before these athletes go under starters orders, they'll have a quick check of the alignment of their boat, and you can hear the umpire now making sure all the athletes are ready. Here is the roll call. Little look from Sam Stunnell to his left and right as they prepare themselves for their A final. You can see how gingerly all the volunteers let these boats go, but a clean start all around. 5 athletes competing here for glory, so we have a gold, silver and a bronze medal waiting for them here at the finish line, and a really quick start by the 3 center lanes. You can see it wonderfully from this picture here, and the green boat from Sam Stunnell from Australia at the moment quickest out of the blocks. Going with them though, Abduvaliev from Uzbekistan, and here is the young Frenchman taking a little look to his right and going through his starting procedure and going full tilt now towards the finish line. But a great start from the center lanes, and as well Igor Zappa, the experienced hand, as we already mentioned at the introduction. He's really tracking with Sam Stunnell from Australia at the moment.
We saw these rowers through the preliminary round on Thursday. It was Sam Stunnell, who is the reigning champion of this boat class at the Under-23 Worlds last year. He had about a 27-second lead ahead of his nearest competitor, who was Igor Zappa of Italy. Australia, there were riding with him here at the moment, looking very strong. He won a bronze medal at World Cup 3 a little earlier on this year in the mixed doubles of the PR3 event. And he was also in Shanghai, also winning a bronze medal in that event. So again, similar to what we're seeing across the board, you know, lots of experience already this year and from the Worlds last year, and of course reigning champion as well. So yeah, looks like Igor Zappa just, you know, probably had it in his mind, okay, I was 27 seconds behind him in the preliminary, I need to go off fast here, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he really knows what he's up to, and look at the gap already for the Australian sculler ahead of Italy and Uzbekistan as we move through the first timing mark, 4 seconds, and here is Chamolieu from France going through that same timing mark ahead of the German athlete Jan Rothländer, who is 5th at the moment. But look at the pace being set out in front. You can't not appreciate these pictures here. The wonderful top view we have of the athletes. You can see how you can see so much in this picture. You can see the differences in style, the differences in rhythm, and the way the boat moves through the water. And this man is really out on a mission to get the Australians their second gold medal within 15 minutes.
How incredible would that be to join Susanna Lutze, who just won her gold medal in the PR3 women's single sculls. Really steady, long, strong rowing, 32 strokes per minute here from the Australians. Australian, and with every stroke he's just opening up that gap ahead of Igor Zappa of Italy. We saw him race at the World Senior Championships 2 years ago, winning a gold medal in the PR3 men's pair. We also saw him at a World Cup last year in that same both class. But here we have the German closest to us on our screen, currently sitting in that 5th position. He was 4th last year at these championships as well.
Yeah, and he's really moving steadily in that sort of middle race pace, secure rhythm for the Ruder Club Bergedorf athlete, and he is going toe-to-toe with the young French athlete all the way on the other side of the course, as we see this wonderful chevron formation here being led still by Sam Sunnell from Australia as he powers through the 1,000-meter mark, opening a bigger lead. And the big question is now, all these athletes have really prepared for this. This is their A final. This is your chance to show all the training, all the preparation, everything you poured into this. Now is the time to show your everyone what you're made of. And I think the Australian, I'm not sure he's going for that World Championships best time. Currently he owns that World Championships best time, 7:28:31, and we'll see how that time stacks up. That was of course set in Shanghai last year. So we'll keep a close eye on the time, because a very similar picture compared to the previous A final, with an Aussie going all out and see what he's and to show everybody what he's made of.
Absolutely, still holding that steady rate of 31 strokes per minute. They're all pretty settled with their rate. Perhaps the Uzbekistan sculler there is probably highest, around 35 strokes per minute. Currently in that 3rd position here, looking really, really solid. Still within, he's close enough to Italy at the moment, perhaps to go for the silver medal, but he's going to have to work hard. There's 650 metres to go in this race. Look at the speed. You can see the speed of the Australian boat there, 15.3 kilometres per hour compared to everyone else down in the 14s and 13s. So the speed, just he's able to maintain that beautiful speed. Italy then over on the far side of our picture in that, he's currently in 2nd, followed by Uzbekistan, and then we have France and Germany there in that picture. Yeah,
so there's a race for, well, the race for the gold medal is, well, I dare not say it this early, but more or less decided, and behind the Australian there's a wonderful battle going for the silver and the bronze, and then again for places 4 and 5, France versus Germany. So there's races within races, and talk about conditions here. Wonderful conditions here at the Wedau Regatta Strecke. Really good conditions for all these athletes. Here we ride with Igor Zappa from Italy, who is very fortunate because he trains on Lake Como. Can you imagine having your training base in one of those wonderful lakes in the Italian Alps? He is really a lucky man, but and at the moment he's putting more distance into Abduvaliev from Uzbekistan and trying to establish himself firmly in that silver medal position.
Yeah, he's really opening up that gap. But the gap here for Australia, almost up to 100 metres of a lead here with 300 metres to go. Bit of a push happening here from Abdullayev of Uzbekistan, one of the faster moving boats out there. Not quite, but almost getting close to the Australian speed there for a few strokes. So he's trying to catch down Igor Zappa of Italy for that silver medal. 200 metres to go. Is it possible, Tim?
Oh, it's going to be close. I think if he wants it, he has to go now, as this man still powers through. You can look at the Australian's boat speed. He's the quickest boat on the water, more than 100 metres ahead of Italy and Uzbekistan at the moment. So I think he's going for that fast time. He'll know the time by the splits on his stroke coach. And here is the Italian now, seeing the threat from Uzbekistan, really accelerating as he takes it up to 35 strokes a minute at the moment. But and this is that wonderful view, Niamh, you mentioned earlier, and what that wall of noise means to all these athletes. Across the line he goes. It's really close. World Championships best time 7:28, and I think it's going to come down to tenths of a second. But the win is here. The gold medal secured for Sam Stannell from Australia, and boy is he pleased with his performance there. Silver medal will go to Igor Zappa from Italy. Another medal for the Italian as he's shaken off Akbarali Abduvaliev for that silver medal, but the Uzbekistani sculler will get the bronze medal, and then it's a big push there from France as well. Erwan Chamoulier, who will take 4th overall ahead of the home favourite Jan Rothländer from Germany, who crosses the line as we speak. I think, Niamh, looking at the, still to be officially confirmed times, that this is another second, not quite a second, but 6/10 of the World Championships best time. So another world best time here being set at the under-23s, and again an Australian gold medal.
So Australia could nearly pack up and go home now. They have 2 gold medals, but let's see what else they can do, because they have some strong contenders over the coming finals. But we'll be moving on to the victory ceremony now of the PR3 under-23 women's single sculls. We had 3 rowers competing, so just 2 medals being given out here in our victory ceremony. And what a dominating performance already by the Australians. We have Susanna Lutze there in the gold and green. Give you a little wave to her supporters.
Yeah, quite a few Aussies making the journey here to Duisburg as well. So here is the winner of that silver medal, Rocio Fraguela Moas, representing Spain. And she's being that medal being presented to her by World Rowing Executive Director Vincent Gaillard. And he's accompanied by the CEO of Duisburg Sport, Johannes Michels.
So we have to speak about the little gifts in a moment, because of course they not only get a medal at all these championships, they also get a special gift. But here we have the gold medalist Susanna Lutze of Australia. What a very strong, dominating performance from the 22-year-old.
Yeah, and I do love the way that that medal has been the same for all these years. Not really. It's a wonderful classic design, and I'm very glad World Rowing is sticking to it. These wonderful pictures here as we listen to the Australian anthem. Big round of applause for these 2 athletes, and that concludes our first victory ceremony of today. Plenty more to come. We'll see the PR3 under 23 men's winners in a few moments.
We'll mention the little gifts they have here as well. So at every championship they're given a little gift as well as their medals. So they're those little blue teddy bears that they've got, and I believe they're sea dragons.
I think you're right, yeah, they are. And they are representing the host city, Duisburg, and it's always a nice little souvenir to take home with you. With that, we go straight into the A final for the under-23 women's pair. Again, a wonderful lineup. Here is the starting order as the crews already locked in. We have Romania furthest away from this angle in lane number 1. Then it's the USA, Australia, individual neutral athletes Guseva and Lushina in lane 4, Lithuania lane 5, and closest to the picture is the crew from France. These are the Romanians outside medal. Well, not outside of medal contention, but outsiders for the bronze medal based on their performances earlier this week, but certainly a crew to keep a close eye on. Little handshake there between Carly Brown and Gracelyn Theobald for the USA. Also that quick check of the oar lock. You see all these crews just making sure it's really, really tightly locked. That's something I think all rowers do. And we have to talk about this crew, Niamh. This is a quality crew from Australia. Lucy Searle and Imogen Gray in the stroke seat.
Incredibly strong, dominating performance over the last few days. Will Australia be going home with 3 gold medals, 3 out of 3?
That may very well be true. We'll know in about 6.5, 7 minutes. Here are the individual neutral athletes, Katarina Guseva and Elena Lushina. Elena Lushina closest to you in the stroke seat. Certainly a crew to watch. They were very fast in their semi-final. In that same semi-final, this crew from Lithuania, Ula Junisaite and Ugne Radutaite. Also a crew to watch. They had a great sprint in the semi-final to qualify for this A-final. And here is the crew from France with Jean Cellier and Louise Dinard. Dinard on the left-hand side in the stroke seat. You see that little bit of nervousness, that little bit of tension as they try to relax as much as they can and unleash everything they have in this final. But perhaps the most confident crew at this stage is the crew with the green and gold vests on. Australia, that's the one to watch, I think. But the Australians haven't rowed against the individual neutral athletes all regatta, so that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Oh, they were held long, weren't they? But they're off now. A great start all around. You can see the splashes, the aggressiveness, all the energy released now to get those shells up to top speed. And here we ride with perhaps the favourites for the gold medal, Lucy Searle and Imogen Gray, as they move out. But quickest boat off the blocks, Niamh, there are the individual neutral athletes already half a length up on the Australians.
Yeah, really different approaches there to the start. Australia up at 48, 49 strokes per minute. Individual neutral athletes got up to around 38 and kind of held there or thereabouts. And though they're starting to lower the rates here now. Now the thing is, as you said, we haven't seen the two of these crews race alongside each other. Australia we've seen like so dominating throughout the rounds that we've seen them in, but with a really low rate, so we haven't seen the best out of them yet, so we have no idea what's to come from them against the crews. But look at this already, they're starting to make a move.
Yeah, basically what we saw in the previous round from the Aussie pair was a quick opening 500, then a sort of steady second 500, and in all races so far they really eased off in the second half of the race, so they will show their full potential in this A final. And after that very quick quick start by Guseva and Lucina, the individual neutral athletes right next to the Aussies. We can see the green and gold now moving through and already making themselves, clear favourites for that gold medal. I think they're a length up already, and we haven't even crossed the 500 metres just yet. So they are really going for it. It's clear water for the Australians, then the individual neutral athletes, and then the black boat of Lithuania moves through in bronze medal position with 1,500 metres to go. Everything to play for, but look at the Aussies. My God, what are they flying? 20 metres ahead of the rest of the field already.
And only 600 metres done. This is incredible. We knew they were going to do something special. We just weren't sure what. I can't wait to see what the rest of the race will be like from them. Fastest moving boat out there, nearly by a full kilometre per hour over it now at this point. Individual neutral athletes in that second position. They've been really strong throughout this championship. So we've seen them race already this year at 2 of the World Cups in this boat class. So they have that experience racing together this year. The Lithuanians currently sitting in third. They were 6th last year in this race at the under 23s. So at the moment looking to do much better than last year's performance. USA then right up alongside them. They're in that 4th position. Carly Brown there in the bow seat. We've seen her row under 19s over the years. She has a couple of gold medals from the 8 and the Cox 4 back in 24 and 23 respectively. Romania still there or thereabouts alongside France.
Yeah, the Romanians not out of it just yet, but you can see the damage the Aussies are doing every single stroke, extending their lead by nearly 15 metres in the past 500 yards. And I think we're going to see a great performance by them. They combine power with grace so beautifully, and it's that combination of clean catches, wonderfully synchronized leg drive, and that full application of power that sees them thundering through the halfway mark. And look at the gap they're opening up. I hope they don't ease off like they did yesterday and the day before. The individual neutral athletes a length clear, and is the USA now coming back into this alongside Lithuania, just 2/10 separating those two crews for the bronze medal, and Romania still clinging on there together with France.
Australia have never won a gold medal in the women's pair at under 23 level. Their last medal was won back in 2017, and that was a silver again at the under 23 championship. So this will be a first for Australia, and if they can do 3 in a row here, the first 3A finals of these championships, that will be pretty amazing. They're sustaining that really high speed as well, you know, staying up well ahead of everyone else. USA may be matching them every so often with the speed, but they're just dominating here in that 3rd position, Lithuania. But USA are the ones to watch here as well, creeping up with them, and have now got their bow ball right up alongside them. So Lithuania, USA put great battle here now for that 3rd position.
Yeah, that's really one to watch for the bronze medal. The Americans combining relatively recently compared to the Aussies, because Brown and Theobald representing different universities back in the States, Stanford and Northeastern respectively, and they are, I think, drawing level, perhaps slightly ahead of the Lithuanians at the moment as the camera focuses on the race for the bronze. But here's the race for the gold medal. These two Longhorns from Texas University, they've raced together all season. They were the stern pair of the varsity 8 for Texas Uni, and they posted that unofficial world best time in the women's 8 as they again thunder through the 1500, opening up more of a lead. Look at that, already outside of the picture before the individual neutral athletes come into view. It is such a dominant performance. It's amazing here. Lithuania responding to the Americans though. At 1500 it is bragging rights for Lithuania, but by a whisker ahead of the USA. France and Romania not out of it just yet.
Absolutely. France have got themselves right up into that bronze medal race as well. This is going to be great between Lithuania, USA and France right now. Look at how close things are between the 3 of those crews. Australia into their final, just over 300 metres to go for them. 36 strokes per minute, which is actually a lot faster than what we've seen the last few days. We've seen them down around 28 strokes per minute at this point in their races through the heats and semi-finals. But that's speed is incredible. France, though, fastest moving boat out there. They're currently in that 4th position, but they've gotten ahead of USA now and coming for Lithuania for that bronze. And here they come. They've just put themselves into 3rd.
Oh, wow. What a race for that bronze medal. The Aussies will get the gold, no doubt. The individual neutral athletes will take that silver, but bronze still up for grabs. We'll keep a close eye on these 2 athletes to round off an amazing season for Texas University, but now representing Australia, getting the under-23 World Championship title. Just 100 meters to go as the battle behind them for the bronze medal keeps unfolding. A great sprint by France.
Yeah, France are now in that 3rd position after overtaking Lithuania, even coming closer to individual neutral athletes, but it looks like they will hang on to silver. But here we have the world champions under 23 women's pair, Australia. Great time, 7:08, just over 7:08. Individual neutral athletes staying in that 2nd position. But look at this, look at the lead that France took there in the last 500 metres, and they are celebrating.
Oh, and rightly so. Out of medal contention at 500 metres and rode all the way back through Lithuania and the USA. Jean Cellier and Louise Dinan take the bronze medal, but here are the winners for Australia. Well done. Hats off to Lucy Searle and Imogen Gray from Australia to get that gold medal. And boy, are they pleased. And finally, we saw their true potential here in this women's pair. And wow, what a result. Here confirmation, gold, silver and bronze. Guseva and Lushina, individual neutral athletes, getting the silver medal, but nearly 9.5 seconds down on gold. I'm wondering if we are going to see margins like that for the other finals. I don't think we will, as we go straight to the victory pontoon for the VC of the PR3 under 23 men's single sculls.
So here we go, medals and gifts to be given out to 3 rowers. This time it is the men's PR3 single sculls. Great race. We'll be hearing the Australian national anthem quite a bit this morning, it sounds like.
Yeah, 3 times in a row. It's a hat trick for the Aussies. But first, we're going to congratulate these 3 amazing athletes. As we are going to start with the bronze medals for this event, also represented by World Executive Director Vincent Gaillard, together with the President of the OC, Tobias Weisters. And here is the bronze medal.
And the bronze medal going to Uzbekistan. We have Akbarali Abduvaliyev, just 16 years old. He'll be turning 17 this October. Such a young athlete. Great performance from him. Silver medal going to Igor Zappa of Italy. Looking very happy with his medal and gift. He had a great performance, pretty much staying in that 2nd position, challenged a little bit by Uzbekistan but held off. But here is the champion, the gold medalist representing Australia, Sam Stunnell, reigning world champion from last year. He's done it twice, 2 times in a row.
Yeah, and a world best time as a nice little bonus there, shaving a few tenths off his previous best. Here is that overview. Australia, Italy, Uzbekistan, as we hear the Australian anthem.
we have it. Second time hearing the Australian national anthem this morning. We'll have another one to come a little later on after that really strong performance from the women's pair. Big celebrations all around though.
Yeah, and that quick opportunity to get yourself on in front of the camera of Ben to make sure you have this moment for the rest of your life well documented. As we move through to the next A final, and the athletes already lined up at the start for the under-23 men's pair. We saw great racing in the semi-finals yesterday, and another brilliant lineup waiting for us. We'll have a close eye as we go back to the start. Yes, here we are. With furthest away from the camera, Italy, starting there with Romania, Greece, Great Britain, Australia and Belgium closest to the camera at the moment, with Laurijns and de Smet. You can see them as we here are the Azzurri. Italy, of course, the Italians who are always one to watch, because I always have a feeling the Italians are keeping something hidden for the A finals. They tend to stand out. Here's the crew from Romania with Patrick Sevestein and Edward Moldovan. Little fist bump there. Wonderful. Next to Romania we find this combination from Greece with Alexandros Chatsiagoustidis in the bow seat and Andreas Burkas in the stroke seat closest to you. Also a crew to watch. And next to the Greek pair we find the pair from Great Britain. Two Brown University athletes raced the Varsity 8. Here are Thomas Griffin and Isaac Turnham. Really interested in this crew. We saw Jack Hansen, Carnoy and Lachlan Brown race the semi-final yesterday. They weren't really sprinting to the line, which explains why they are in lane 5 and not lane 4 in one of the favoured centre lanes. And here is the surprise of the regatta. Belgium, Neil Laurijns and Finn de Smet. They were absolutely amazed that their race yesterday was good enough to get them in the A final, and they are very happy, euphoric, they mentioned yesterday, to be in this final. We'll see what they can do here. This is the A final, 3 medals waiting for these athletes, and 2,000 meters separating them and the glory as they ready themselves for the start. Slightly quicker start than the women's pair, but all crews are off. We see the rates go through the roof, and a wonderful highest boat speed at the moment there being generated by Greece, but already quite close to the buoy line, really going out with a clear intention. A little bit of a wobble there for the Greek combination of Chatsiagoustidis and Burkas as we ride here with the crew from GB, and again the Greek crew struggling to keep that boat straight and true in their lane, but I think they've corrected it and now settling into a little bit of a more manageable rhythm. Explosive start by the Greeks.
Explosive start, and that's probably what we expected looking at their semi-final times. They were the fastest by over a second compared to Romania, who were next fastest through. But the Greeks, we've been commenting on their style of rowing over the last few days, and it is something very special. But it was the Italians that you called out at the start, Tim, and look at them putting themselves into that early lead.
Yeah, they really don't want the repeat of the semi-final, putting themselves in gold medal contention early on. Here they are, Giovanni Paolini setting that furious rhythm in the Italian boat, still up at 40 strokes a minute, trying to get that to that first timing mark first, but the Greeks are having none of it at the moment. We're 19 seconds into this A final for the men's pair, and the two crews from Italy and Greece go side by side through the first timing mark. Romania tracking with them. The Aussies in a great position too. A little bit surprised to see GB more than a second down on the leading two crews at the moment. And also that crew from Romania is one to watch. The Romanians rode a negative split yesterday in the semi-final, which means they go quicker in the second half. So keep a close eye on the Romanians, but at the moment it is still Italy and Greece as we ride with the Italians, who are, well, barely settling into that middle race pace at 39 strokes a minute.
I don't think Italy ever settle into a pace. They just keep it up and keep it going and can sustain it. They're just dropping just below the 40 now to 39, but very much matching the Greek style of rate here. The Italians, stroked there by Giovanni Paoli, we have who won a silver medal at under 19 level last year in the quad. He was in the 4 the year before that, winning a gold medal as well. So swapping between the sweeping and the sculling. The Greek crew finishing 6th in the under-23 Worlds last year, so they were raced together. They also won a bronze medal at under-19s in this boat class as well, so lots of experience, lots of medals already in those households in Greece. Romania, though, are going to be quite strong. I do believe one of the rowers there, returning member from the under-23s last year, but we're coming from the 4, that is a Moldovan in the stroke.
Yeah, great race all round. The Greeks now leaving the Italians to scrap for the minor medals. I think Chachiagustidis and Burkas now nearly a full length ahead of the Italians at 1,000. Romania settling into that bronze medal position with the other crews still giving chase. Australia, GB in their semi-final yesterday, their fastest 500 was the last one. So they've probably got something in their back pockets. But if you look at the difference at the moment, it's a length and a half of clear water separating GB from the leading crew. Nicely caught here in this picture from Greece, as the Greeks really going for it. You can see the gritted teeth of the Greek athletes, and look at the Australians now making a move into this third quarter, drawing level with Italy and Romania.
Yeah, Australia, they're coming off a very successful under-19 campaign last year, winning a silver medal in the men's pair after making the jump up to under-23s now this year, and really starting to go here now. It's tossing, like if you look at the graphic, it just keeps changing between Romania, Australia, Italy for that silver and medal and bronze medal position at the moment. Romania, fastest moving boat out of the 3 of those.
Yeah, and you saw that little look from Thomas Griffin, the bowman of that GB pair, and they are about half a length down on the medals, because the Greeks here, they look very good in gold medal position, but still there's precious little separating Italy, Romania and Australia for the silver and the bronze. One of these crews, more than one, are going to be disappointed, as the Romanians now starting to show that fast second half of the race.
They certainly are. We're into the last quarter now. 1,500 metres done, 500 to go. They're all starting to wind up now. There is no let up from anyone. They cannot afford to do it at this point. We're in the high 30s for the majority. Italy still sustaining that 40, that the strokes per minute that they've held all the way down. Romania, Australia, Italy, though, this is the race to watch for the silver and bronze. Romania really trying to use the power now. They're holding on 38 strokes per minute, focusing on that power and just trying to move away from the Australians now, who are starting to move away from the Italians. We thought the Italians were going to be able to sustain that rate and speed together. I'm not sure, will they? Yeah, the
Italians are fading badly. Great Britain also really pushing on, but I think the Australians have made a great move to the bronze medal position. Romania, though, just 3 meters ahead, but the Greeks are able to maintain this. It's amazing stuff. You can just see the puddles from the Greek pair ahead, and look at the Australians going for it. And here go the Italians once again. They take it up to above 40 strokes a minute. So that bronze medal is not of the Australians just yet. Italy quickest boat on the water, and it's going to be a really tight finish here. I'm sure the Greeks will get the gold, but who's going to get the silver and the bronze? The Greeks take it on the line, but here we go. A great, look at the Aussies. I think the Aussies have just done enough to take the, that was just too close. I was looking everywhere in that last few strokes. It's too close to, I reckon the Romanians just got the silver. We have to wait. No, it's unofficially it's the Aussies, but the Greeks taking the gold. But who has that bronze medal? Unofficially, it's been given to Romania. I think that was a shame for the Italians to miss out after doing so well in the first 1500. Great Britain, I reckon, disappointed. But look at these guys from Romania, absolutely chuffed a bit with that silver medal or that bronze medal. Here it is. Greece take the win ahead of Australia, and then it's Romania for the bronze medal. Sadly, Italy misses out, but they are just ahead of Great Britain, and the combination of Laurens and de Smet from Belgium, 6th overall, but a wonderful performance by that young pair from Belgium.
Incredible race there. What a finish there for Australia to row through Italy and Romania to take that silver medal. So we'll be seeing Australia on the podium once again a little later on for the men's pair. Now we have the victory ceremony of the under-23 women's pair. What a race this was. Love the camaraderie here. The crew from France.
Yeah, they really stole my heart, I think. Racing from one of the outside lanes and then sprinting through to get that bronze medal. That's just amazing. As the Aussies once again take centre stage, and one great performance as well by Guseva and Lushina, the individual new athlete. But first, the bronze for France. The medals presented by Sarah Cook, who is the World Rowing Council member. And she does that together with the Deputy Mayor of Mobility, Urban Development and Sports. That is, of course, Martin Line, who will be handing over that wonderful Sea Dragon, which we talked about earlier. Big wave to the French fans. And now we go to the silver medal. Here first the Sea Dragons, that little wonderful souvenir. I hope they have enough space in their luggage to keep that with them. Silver medal now, Ekaterina Guseva and Elena Lushina. A bit of an unknown quality in this A final. I think they did really well. They tried to rattle the Australians in the first 500 meters, but in the end, silver was, I think, the highest attainable medal for them, given the quality of that Australian pair.
It certainly was. We weren't sure what was going to happen when we put those two boats up alongside each other. It was their first time racing alongside each other at these championships today, and they took off very fast, but there was no catching this crew from Australia. Lucy Searle and Imogen Gray taking the gold medal. What a performance from them over the last 3 days.
Yeah, and what a wonderful conclusion to, or well, I don't know if it's the conclusion to their rowing season, but having that really successful campaign in the USA for the Texas University to round the season off with an under-23 World Championship title is amazing. And let's not forget that Searle was also named the Collegiate Rowing Coaches Association's Athlete of the Year. So what a year she's having.
And for the third time today, let's hear it for the Australian national anthem. Great performance there by all three crews in the women's pair. Incredible racing. And that's only the first 4 races of the day. We still have 6 more A finals to come today, as well as a whole block of them tomorrow. And this time it's going to be moving to the double sculls. So we're changing from 1 oar per oar to 2 now in the double sculls. And this is a race that I have mentioned I'm looking forward to. The women's double is going to be a cracker of a race. Some really strong contenders. Some new athletes as well, making their senior debut as well. But first up, lane 1, we have France. One returning member from last year's under-23 women's double sculls. Lane 2, then we have Poland. Klibenko in the bow, Rogovic in the stroke. Saw them both competing at World Cups earlier this year, although in different boats, so teaming up together here for the final. Then we have one of the crews I'm really looking forward to seeing. It is the 16-year-olds from individual neutral athletes 2, Cherkasova in the bow seat, Grigorieva in the stroke seat, and of course this really, really strong Greek crew. They're in lane 4.
Yeah, defending their title from last year. Dimitri Kuntu there in the bow seat, winning the gold medal last year. Here is Lithuania. And last but not least, Australia. Again, an Aussie crew as they are underway. A quick start here from the umpire, and all the crews well and truly underway, and as we see them race out hard, and we'll have a really close eye on those center lanes. Defending champions from last year, Greece up against the unknown quality of the individual neutral athletes right beside them. And I'm curious to see if the two 16-year-olds, Grigorieva and Cherkasova, are going to rate that little bit higher. We only saw them race at rate 31, 32, I think, in the previous races, because that was more than enough to win. And we'll see if they can take it up another gear in this A final.
Let's see, indeed, early showing here at the moment from that crew right in the middle of the course. That is that Greek crew up in the 40s at the start, settling down now to 39. They won't probably drop too much lower than that in terms of their rate. The Greek style of rowing is at high rate, aggressive strokes. Individual neutral athletes then to their left-hand side, they're down at 35 strokes per minute at the moment, so settling into what seems to be their kind of race plan. That's what we've seen over the last few days, into the low to mid 30s. Poland then, the silver medalist from last year's World Under-23 Championships, joining back up together. They separated there for the couple of World Cups earlier this year, back together now to see if they can win back that silver medal or perhaps do a little bit better. So 3 of those crews right up alongside each other, but France as well over in lane 1. They're doing really well at the moment.
Yeah, pleasant surprise to see the French combination of Massemin and Hershkovich in this race. They really put themselves in a great position here as we come past the first timing mark. You can already see on the right hand side of this picture that Lithuania and Australia are struggling a little bit with the high pace being set at the moment by this combination from Greece. And boy, do they look cool. We see Dimitra Kontu in the bow seat. She's not even going full tilt. She just like that really sort of cold stare to her left to see where the rest of the field was as they row in that great dynamic rhythm at 36 strokes a minute. That's similar to what we saw in the semi-finals and the heats. This is their comfort zone, and they're nearly 3/4 of a length up on Poland now in silver medal position, just a whisker ahead of the individual neutral athletes.
Yeah, of course, Konto, a bronze medalist from the Paris Olympics in the double. She's a lightweight rower over the years, you know, really strong performances at under 23 level, and teaming up with an equally strong rower, Diavati, in the stroke seat, winning a gold medal at under 19 level last year in the double sculls, and then a silver at the under 23. She was in the single last year, and now teaming up with Konto to make this incredibly strong women's double sculls. Just a little bit back, it's Poland after putting themselves into that second position now ahead of individual neutral athletes. Again, like the individual neutral athletes crew are very young. They're both 16 years old, and we haven't seen their full potential yet over the last few days. So although they're currently in that third position, I can see they'll still have a lot to give, I think, in the second half of this race.
Yeah, I do like the way the individual neutral athletes are rowing. It's quite textbook really, and it's very well, I would say economical, because they are sort of, well, at this pace they are slightly higher in terms of rhythm than they were earlier. You can see that's a bit of an unknown quantity for them. As you can see, the medal, the crews in medal position at the moment, you can see that wonderful difference in style. You can see the Greeks here, nice and dynamic rhythm, quite upright, not using much backswing. I think the Polish crew is really economical. They don't really slow the boat down on the way forward, and the Polish and the individual neutral athletes now really level pegging now for the silver and the bronze at the moment. France about a boat length behind on the bronze medal position at the moment, with Lithuania and the Aussies slipping back as we passed 12:50, so we're in the thick of the action in the third quarter. Little look there from Eleni Diviati from Greece. I think they are trying to go for a little bit of a change of gear to put a little bit more distance in Poland and the individual neutral athletes.
I think so, because they're probably not as comfortable as they maybe thought they would be. They can still see individual neutral athletes and Poland very much there with them here at the moment. France just falling back. They were potentially in contention, I would say, for that bronze medal, just falling back ever so slightly, coming in towards that last quarter of the race, and then a little bit back to Australia and Lithuania. That Greek style that Tim mentions, that dynamic style, they're still holding on here to 36 strokes per minute, but we haven't seen them get into their sprinting yet, which we will see as we come into the final quarter. But this is a race for the silver and bronze, in my opinion. Individual neutral athletes going through that 1500 metre mark just ahead of Poland.
Yeah, I think the field's closing up on the Greeks as we saw them go for that little bit of a change of gear. I think Grigoreva and Cherkasova, the individual neutral athletes, you can see them with the number 3 on the bow, getting that little bit of a more overlap. It was nearly a length advantage for the Greeks, and I think that was a look of worry there from Eleni Diviati, because I think they thought they were moving away from the rest of the field, and they see everybody closing up at the moment. Poland also closing down. Then there's still that little bit of a gap for France. France is a high rating at the moment, 39 strokes a minute. I don't think they have much to go to, but we're going to see a great sprint as we come into the final 250 meters. The field closing up on the Greeks. That would be an upset. That would be a surprise. And I think everybody now starting to sprint, closing down that Greek bow ball as we speak.
Can the young 16-year-old athletes from individual neutral athletes beat out the experience of the Greek crew? Let's wait and see. Greece are surely responding here now, holding on to that lead. They were the fastest moving boat out there, but now that is going the way of Poland and France. Poland now starting to close back on individual neutral athletes. Last 100 metres.
Whoa, it's going to be close for the silver and the bronze. France actually coming back into this, less than half a length down on the bronze medal. Poland really sprinting for all their worth now. I think Poland pushing that silver medal position. The Greeks have done just about enough to claim the gold medal. Poland get the silver, and across the line the individual neutral athletes take the bronze. Wonderful performance. They were so close to the silver, but I think given the fact that they're just 16 years of age, having a medal at all is amazing. And boy, did they take it to the Greeks here, who, well, looked a little bit phased with 200 meters to go, and that little bit, yes. You can see the elation there with Eleni Diviati, and the World Championship title continues for Greece. France got across the line fourth ahead of Australia, who rode through the Lithuanian double in the last quarter. And here, official confirmation of that result. Greeks take it ahead of Poland and the individual neutral athletes for the bronze.
As we move on to the victory ceremony now of the men's pair. Another great race was had here by these three crews. We have Greece, Australia and Romania up on the podium to collect those medals. Great race from Romania, claiming those bronze medals. Patrick Francisc Sebastian in the bow seat, Eduard Angel Moldovan in the stroke seat. He had won a bronze medal from the four last year, and now he's adding a bronze medal from the pair this year.
Really great to see him on the podium again. Here's the Australian silver medal. Really glad you can see them. You can see the big smiles for the Aussies. And honestly, with 1,000 meters gone, I didn't think they would make the podium, but a great second half. Saw them row through and claim that silver medal. So well done to them. Sarah Cook presenting those medals together with the OC member Stefan Valat. Greece, first gold medal for Greece, and we'll see another Greek crew on the podium really shortly. But hats off to Alexandros Chatsiagoustidis and Andreas Burkas, really going out to get that gold medal, not looking back to anybody, and just flawless race by the Greeks. As we heard for the first time today, the Greek national anthem. Next, a final in the program. Also a race we've been looking forward to. It's the under-23 men's double sculls. And once again, a huge promise for some top quality racing from the semi-finals yesterday, which saw these six crews qualify. We have Ireland in lane number 1, Turkey lane 2, Portugal in one of the center lanes, together with Italy, Germany and Romania closest to us at the moment. Here is the young crew from Ireland with Fiona Kirby and Jack Rafferty in the stroke seat. And we are looking forward to this crew, the crew from Turkey with Halil Khan Koroglu in the stroke seat and his bowman Alper Sefket Eren in the bow. And this is a rapid crew from Portugal as well, Pedro Rodrigues and Tomás Neves. And right alongside the Portuguese, we find the defending champions from last year, Marco Prati in the stroke seat with Josef Gio Marvucic in the bow. Germany, lane number 5, Christian Adner in the bow seat with the physio tape on his shoulder, and Tom Olbrich from Dresden Ruderverein in the stroke seat. And then there's the twins from Romania with David and Daniel Šicic. You can see David just making a little bit of a correction there with his oars to make sure that double for Romania is straight and true in their lane. So as we await these athletes last minute before the start, really looking forward to the Italians up against the Portuguese here. That's going to be one to watch. And of course, Germany wanting to make a grand impression here in the final. I haven't seen Germany on the podium so far today, I think. So that would be a fantastic performance by Olbrich and Adner if they make the podium. Under starters orders now. Red light is on as we go through the roll call. And off we go. A bit of a slow first stroke by the Romanians. I think they were not really expecting the buzzer to come along so quickly, but a fast start by the Germans. Second crew from the right-hand side on that overview picture, as all the crews take it up through the reins and get that boat moving really quickly. You can see the Irish here, that young Irish crew really going for it. But the early leaders at the moment, Germany going out, establishing that early lead, and Romania actually recovering quite well to get themselves at the moment second, but it's too close to call anything at the moment. But good start by Germany.
Absolutely great early showing from Germany. There was 4 crews I really had my eye on coming through the semi-finals from yesterday, just 1.5 seconds separating Italy, Portugal, Turkey and Ireland. Germany were a little bit off and Romania, so Germany I think probably took the results from the last few days and said, you know what, if we have any chance of a medal, let's get out nice and quick. And they are still one of the faster moving boats out there, but with them here, Romania looking looking really strong. There on the very right-hand side of your screens, that is the twins from Romania. We saw them rowing at the World Cup 2 earlier this year. So they, when you're a twin like that, I think you always have a little bit of an advantage.
I think if you're born as a twins in Romania, you are fed straight into the Romanian rowing system, because we've seen so many twins, in rowing in general, but particularly for Romanian crews. But impressive stuff by the Romanians. The way they maintain that really high boat speed over the 600 meters in now is really impressive. Germany, I think they would have expected to be early leaders, and they are just a canvas down on the Romanians as we speak, as the centre lanes have still to show what they are capable of, but they are quite a long way down on the Romanians.
Really interesting to see on the graphic that the reigning world champions, the Italian crew there, sitting in 6th position right now. Obviously, it's very close at this point in time, but probably they would have thought that they would have been up a little bit closer to the lead, if not in the absolute lead at this point in the race. Germany, fastest moving boat out there right now. Again, I think the Romanians and Germans, they went into this saying, hey, we have to go hard here for that first half to try and get ahead. They've certainly done that, but is it sustainable? That's the question. The Portuguese crew, you've been really impressed by them as well, Tim.
Yeah, I've been impressed by the Portuguese because they were very strong and consistent after a relatively slow start in the semi-finals. They had hardly any fade in the second half of this race, and that can't be said from Germany and Romania, who both had a very strong start in yesterday's semi-final and then faded in the last quarter particularly. But we can just have to wait and see. I've seen the Romanians do something quite similar in earlier championships, where they sort of go out fast and then fade, and then every race they are managing to keep that speed higher and for longer, and sometimes that gives them amazing results. Of course, Romania is one of the powerhouses in especially under 19, but also under 23 rowing. So we'll just have to wait and see. Germany now feeling the heat from Portugal. Portugal really coming into their stride, and the Italians, the defending champions, moving with them. I think the Italians now 4th or 5th at the moment, with the crew from Turkey actually 6th now, but plenty of space to go through. We're just starting that third quarter as the speed and the consistency of the Portuguese now starting to show through.
Yeah, the Portuguese really starting to move here now, 38 strokes per minute, moving into a solid second position. The Italians just level with Ireland here now, boat rating very, very similar. The Irish crew, they won a gold medal at the under-19 Worlds last year, and moving up to under-23 levels this year. Jonah Kirby and the bow, Jack Rafferty in the stroke seat. Currently in 5th position, Italy taking over. Can Italy come back into this and claim a medal? We will see now if the Germans can hold on to that early lead, but it's Portugal here now coming for Romania.
Yeah, Portugal coming for Romania, and we had that lovely side picture just a few seconds ago, and I really love the rhythm of that Portuguese combination of Rodrigues and Neves. I think their coach John West will be very pleased to see this, how they apply themselves, and they are absolutely rowing through the Romanians, who are starting to fade that little bit. Italy coming back into this, but the Italians have a lot of work to do to retain their title won last year. Germany still looking good though. It's Portugal now in gold medal position. The Romanian crew now silver. Germany is still with the bronze, but the Italians will start sprinting early, and boy do they have a lot of work to do.
They certainly too. Really interesting that Portugal or Romania have never medalled in this boat class at under 23 world level, so it will be a first.
Yeah, 250 to go, and Italy is about to lose their title from last year. The Germans now, great performance, quickest boat on the water with 200 meters to go. The Germans are flying, and boy do we hear the roar from all the German fans at the moment. Portugal also stepping it up. I think they are safe for the gold medal, but talk about home advantage, and on the far side as well, the Irish also moving together with Italy, but it's going to be too late, I'm afraid, for the Italians. Romania are coming back into this. It's going to be very close on the line.
Ireland closing in on Romania here, getting themselves into third position just at the right time of this race. Can they hang on? This is an incredible finish. Romanian just completely fading here now. But what a finish. It was Portugal taking the win. What a brilliant race from the Portuguese crew. The Germans were able to hold on and found something in the end to take that silver medal. And that bronze is going to Ireland.
Wow. What a race of Jonah Kirby and Jack Rafferty stepping up from the under-19s to the under-23s. Romania, completely shot in the end. They really threw in the kitchen sink too early. Fifth overall ahead of Turkey. But what a result for Portugal. Rodriguez and Neves take the gold ahead of Adner and Olbrich from Germany. So we're going to see a German crew on the podium in a few moments. But brilliant race by the Irish to clinch that bronze medal. So we go back to the victory ceremony. Wonderful pictures here. We move, it's the women's double sculls. And we have a wonderful result from that thrilling women's double scull final. Medals will be presented by World Rowing Council member Gwyn Batten, together with sponsor manager Stadtwerke Duisburg, Thomas Porcedu. And of course we start with that bronze medal. Third place for the individual neutral athletes, Tatiana Cherkasova and Alessandra Grigoreva.
The emotion on their face, I'm not sure they can quite believe that they're here, 16 years old at an under-23 championships. We saw them racing earlier this year at the European under-19 level, winning medals there, and here they are taking that step up. These were ones to watch for me. They were incredible over the last 3 days. So well done there to that really young crew, and I can't wait to see what the next few years bring for them.
Yeah, we'll see them no doubt in other moments. Here is also a quality crew from Poland with Anna Klibenko and of course stroke Julia Roglivic. I'm not sure. I think they went out for the gold medal and perhaps a bit disappointed with that silver medal. But still a great performance all round and a wonderful result.
Yeah, second year in a row winning that silver medal. I'm sure you go into it hoping to do one better, but I don't think there was any catching this crew.
No, it was a tall order, but in the end, and we had a little bit of doubt as all the emotions show for Dimitra Eleni Kuntu and Eleni Diviati. Diviati on the right there. It's pure joy for these two young athletes from Greece, and great for Kuntu as well to get another world title here at the under-23s, establishing that little bit of a dynasty here in women's double scull rowing as we get the Greek anthem.
As we move on to the next boat class of the day, and this time it is the fours. So we have 4 rowers, 1 oar each, and these are going for those medals. 6 crews lining up at the start line. Lane 1 we have South Africa. Really excited to see how they do in this race. We have Romania, very experienced crew, all racing in different boats and combinations at the World Cups this year. 2 of them winning a silver medal last year at these under-23 World Championships. But new crew, new combination. Let's see what they can do together. One of the favourites then in lane 3, Great Britain. Strong showing through the earlier rounds of racing. The semi-final, they had a really strong performance leading the whole way down the course. Stroke there by Rhiannon Luke, who we saw in the pairs last year. Next to them then USA, fastest of these boats through the semi-finals yesterday. Some returning members from under 19s and 23 level last year. USA though bringing a lot of new athletes with them to these championships. New to the international scene anyway. Then we have lane 5, Netherlands. Again, some returning members from under 23 championships last year from the 8th. Also the gold medalists stroking them from the pair. And then rounding out the women's 4, lane 6, we have Spain. 2 of these finishing just outside the medals last year in this boat class. Let's see if they can get on that podium today.
Yeah, the Spanish had a fast start yesterday, and then a really consistent pace in the from 500 to all the way to the finish. Again, impressed by the most Spanish crews I've seen here this week. We'll see what they can do from under the outside lanes, but it will be a matchup between Great Britain and the USA. Very similar times from the semi-finals to qualify for this A final. The USA slightly quicker than GB, but we'll see what they are able to do here in the A final. They're under starters orders. Red light. And away we go. Nice even start, quick catches, fast flying crews all round, and a very fast start as well. I have to say we saw previously the Spanish really out of the blocks really quickly as we ride here with the Romanians also taking it up the rein. Romania at 48 strokes a minute, and going with them the crew from South Africa as well. They showed really good consistency to qualify for this A final, so they're one to watch for the bronze medal, no doubt. But already we can see the center lanes coming to the front of the field with GB right alongside the USA and the orange boat from the Netherlands now eating into that early lead of the Spanish.
Yeah, GB and USA fastest of these crews through the semi-finals yesterday, and so both of them are going to have to, both of them are going to go off hard here now, and it is Great Britain here taking that early lead, settling into a 37 strokes per minute rate at the moment as they head down towards that 500 metre mark. So much experience across all these boats really, and it is going to come down to the line, no doubt. There wasn't much separating the times through the semi-finals between first and sixth here, or between any of these crews from the semis yesterday. But here we go, Great Britain really trying to open up from USA, but USA staying with them.
Yeah, USA really powering through, just half a canvas lead ahead of Spain, the Netherlands, South Africa and Romania, all within a couple of seconds of each other. A little bit of a steering correction there by the American four to make sure they are in their lane. And the GB still leading by the narrowest of margins in this second 500. Here we are, the two Texas University athletes at bow and stern, joined by Cassidy and Hutchinson in the center of that boat, providing a lot of power and drive to keep themselves ahead of the USA. The Americans, slightly different style of racing. The Americans closing up now. I think the Americans just, well, more or less equal in terms of speed at the moment compared to the Brits. Those two crews separating themselves from the rest of the pack, with the Netherlands and Spain still giving chase. Spanish still in a good position for that bronze medal, and this crew from the Netherlands, if they can produce a slightly better third 500 than they did yesterday, the Dutch are in a position to win the bronze here, no doubt.
The Spanish have something to say here, though. I think two of these members just off the podium last year in the bow seat there. We have Artiman y Castaner finishing fourth in the women's four, along with the stroke Alim Bau Boras. So they're definitely going to be fighting all the way down to stay in that third position. USA now just coming up and potentially overtaking Great Britain at this point in the race. USA, the faster moving boat of the two of them. I'm sure Great Britain will respond here now. We're going through that halfway mark, so even between these two crews.
Yeah, the USA actually pushed their bow ball across the halfway mark, just ahead of GB, and the Americans now asking a question: are you going with us? And GB having to answer for that gold medal. I don't think the Americans are at full pace yet, but so is the crew from Britain. The UK at 35 strokes a minute. You can see that nice long ropey rhythm there being set by Rhiannon Luke in the stroke seat of that GB4. But the Americans are having a little march ahead of Britain, and the Dutch trying to remain level with the Spanish, but the Spanish still in that bronze medal position. They really look like a quality crew here, racing in the outside lanes. Here they are in the front of your picture. And let's not forget, on the far side, a brilliant racing between Romania and South Africa. And that's four from South Africa with a little bit of special motivation, because it is almost a year ago since they lost their teammate Kerry Gruntling, who raced with them as a junior. So they have that little bit of extra motivation to do well here and to dig deeper in this A final for the women's four.
Absolutely. I believe they have her initials on their suits, and they have a special call as well, and that's what they're saying got them into the A final. They're currently in that fifth position, but look at USA here looking so strong. Stroke there by Ella Wheeler, winning a silver medal at the under-23s last year in the 8, and whatever she is doing, everyone behind her is going with her. They can see now Great Britain starting to fall back from them. Great Britain really need to respond here now. We have 500 metres to go.
Yeah, second and a half, the difference between the USA and Great Britain. The Spanish look to put some more distance in the Dutch. As we ride with them from the side, you can barely see the stern of the Americans, who are pushing on a full length of the lead ahead of Great Britain for the gold and the silver. And this crew is really going for that bronze. Amazing stuff by the Spanish. Dutch having a lot of work to do here.
They do indeed, with 300 metres to go here in this race. We're seeing the sprint coming. USA are up at that 40, Great Britain at 38. Great Britain is slightly bit faster than the US crew. Can they come back? There's 8 metres separating the two of them now. Spain still holding on to that third ahead of Netherlands, about 14 metres separating the two of them. Netherlands will have to do something very special to get back into that bronze medal place.
Oh, the British are charging. Look at the speed difference, but the USA are responding, not immediately, but the Americans have found something, but the Brits are still that slightly a bit quicker than the Americans, and you can see the little bit of the panic on the face there for Claire van Praag in the bow seat of that American four. Have they done enough? The British are definitely getting back into this, but will it be enough on the line?
It might be. They have it down to 3 metres, 50 metres to go here now. They're charging. They're still faster than the USA, but is there enough space to catch him? I don't think there is. It is USA's day. They are getting the gold medal in the women's four. Challenged till the end by Great Britain to take the silver, and Spain. What a great race from them. They are so happy with their performance, claiming the bronze.
Yeah, what a fantastic race by the Spanish. Wonderful race. I have very few words. It's amazing. The Dutch sprinted for everything they were worth, but a second and a half beat down on Spain on that bronze medal. And I think the crew from Romania outsprinted South Africa for fifth on the line. But a great race, but there was not much in it come the line, but the Americans did just enough to get the world title here, taking it out of the hands of Great Britain, who won the gold medal last year.
As we go back to a victory ceremony now, we see the smiles on the faces of the Irish, the Portuguese and the German. It is the men's double sculls.
Yeah, a little cheeky smile there by the Irish and also from Pedro Rodrigues, the Portuguese sculler. Medals will be presented by a rowing council member Annemarie Phelps, together with the president of the German Rowing Federation, Moritz Petri.
And here we have Ireland claiming that bronze medal. Jonah Kirby on the left. We have Jack Rafferty on the right. Jack St. Michael's Rowing Club, very proud member there. Jonah of Kenmare. And this is the 5th year in a row that Ireland have been on the podium for the men's double at under 23 level, which is pretty incredible.
You do have a thing for the double, right?
We do have a thing for it.
Yeah,
yes.
Wonderful. Yeah, that sprint from the Irish. Hats off. Here is the silver medal, under a loud cheer by the home audience. The German combination of Christian Adner, who gets his medal from Annemarie Phelps just now, together with Tom Olbrich and lots of fans. Gutsy race from the Germans too. They weren't the quickest crew to qualify for this final, but what an honour to get your souvenir from the president of the German Rowing Federation here on home turf. Here are the gold medal winners from Portugal. Pedro Rodrigues gets his gold medal together with Tomás Neves, who set that brilliant rhythm in the from the third quarter onwards, which really saw them fly past the fading Romanians. Such quality racing by this double. Can't fault it. And I think Coach John West will be very pleased with this gold medal.
And it's the first ever medal that Portugal have won in this boat class at under 23 level. But let's hear it for the Portuguese national anthem.
Here we have that Portuguese anthem and cheers all around. And as Steve already mentioned, that first World Under-23 Championships gold for Portugal in this boat class. The amazing result all round, and that's a young Irish combination out sprinting everybody for that bronze medal. As we ready ourselves for the next final, we go back to the start for the under-23 men's 4. As you can see here, all these the crews waiting for us at the start. We will go to that start right about now, where we see them already lining up. A little bit of handshakes going all round. We have South Africa furthest away from this camera position, lane 1. The United States of America in lane 2. Great Britain, Australia, the People's Republic of China in lane number 5, and the Romanians closest to us with the bow number 6. Here is the crew from South Africa. Good, the crew with good starts and very consistent speed, very much like the women's 4 we saw earlier from South Africa in the previous A final. Here is the United States. Timothy Parsons there, the experienced hand in the bow seat. Tobias Finn stroking that crew. The crew with, well, not the quickest of start, but a very consistent middle race pace. And talk about consistent speed. Here is the crew from Great Britain. Benjamin Mead there in the bow seat, together with Tristan Wenger, Cameron Tasker, and Marcus Schutt, who is stroking that crew. That's one to watch for the third 500. That GB crew following that traditional British racing plan of that very strong third quarter. Here is the crew from Australia, I think closest contenders for that gold medal. And right beside the Aussies we find the People's Republic of China. Not the quickest out of the blocks, this crew, but perhaps they can surprise here in the A final. But what we've seen so far is that they're really consistent in the second half of this race, maintaining a nice level boat speed. And last but certainly not least, Romania, also a crew to watch with Sergiu Amfimov in the stroke seat, looking sharp and fresh and ready to go. I suspect that the Romanian crew will go out very strong, and they had a great sprint in the semi-final to qualify for this A final, so we'll see. They outrode Germany for their last qualification spot in this A final, so we'll see what they can do. Just a few more minutes, one more minute before we start, and that little bit of tense moment here as we go into those bigger boat classes. And it's a slightly different dynamic, I feel, at the start compared to the doubles and the pairs. It's more noise, more blades, and more aggression as all these crews ready themselves. Here we go. Nice clean start, a quick start actually by the Chinese crew, very fast second and third stroke, but you could already see the bow ball of the Romanians shooting out of the blocks here as we ride with the Americans and the crew from South Africa. Probably my favorite blade coloring, the blade of the South African crew, always great to watch. The Americans here moving out fast as well, and Great Britain not wanting to be left behind, really pushing right alongside the crew from Australia. The red boat of the Chinese quite close to the buoy line out of the start, but correcting their course now and seriously motoring along. But the best start, I think, is this crew from Australia, as we concentrate on the two center lanes. Great Britain really good at establishing that early race pace and that really high consistent speed here. You already can see them lengthening up from that starting procedure and getting into that cruise mode through just past 250 meters.
Romania were up in the 50s. I think that's the first time I've seen that today on the stroke rate off the blocks, and they're now down to just 44 strokes per minute with 400 metres done. I wonder, will we see a repeat of that high rate all the way down and then just not being able to sustain it that we've seen a couple of times already today. But let's see, it's a new race, new crew, so who knows what will happen. So close right now as we go through 500 metres. Australia looking strong as they go through through in that first position ahead of Great Britain, and then really close between Romania, USA and People's Republic of China.
Yeah, not massive differences in this final. All the top three within a second of each other as we ride here with the crew from the People's Republic of China, currently occupying that fourth or fifth spot at the moment, with the Aussies looking really composed, I have to say. A little bit more, well, wouldn't say, well, less composed by Great Britain, but there's a different style. I think the Aussies slightly more upright, and I feel the crew from Great Britain really trying to find as much length as they can, especially at the front end of the stroke. But GB now level in terms of speed and almost level with the Aussies for gold and silver at the moment. And then behind those two crews, China and the People's Republic, or the People's Republic of China and the USA, level pegging for the bronze medal.
Really level at the moment between the two of them. If China can pull off a medal here, if they get up onto the podium, it'll be the first time they've ever medalled in this boat class. So that will be something special for the People's Republic of China if they can do that. But at the moment, it's USA that are after overtaking them into that second position. We have Tobias Finn there stroking that USA boat, setting a nice pace as they stay in that third, going through the halfway mark. Great Britain then in that third, but look at in that first position now alongside Australia, and actually starting to really move here now. Great Britain a little more reserved in terms of rate. They're 37 strokes per minute. Australia at that 39. Tim mentioned earlier, like in these bigger boats, you can kind of sustain that higher rate. You've more power, more people, and that higher rate is more sustainable. But Great Britain at the moment just seem a little more settled into this race.
Yeah, I think GB, actually that slightly more powerful crew based on the individual qualities, especially in the middle of that boat with Cameron Tasker there, is really sort of laying down the watts, and GB now moving on the Aussies. I think all these athletes do know each other, at least a lot of them do, because most of these athletes are also at American universities for the entire season, and now jumping into boat for GB and Australia. It's a great race here. A half a length now for Great Britain ahead of Australia, and the Americans now coming back into this. Not the quickest start. We thought that would happen, but they are really pushing on here in this third quarter, and I think the Aussies need to keep a close eye on that American crew as well as the People's Republic of China to their right.
They do. USA certainly putting on a push here now with 500 metres to go. If they're going to get into that silver medal position, they are going to have to do something special here now, because Australia are still fighting for that gold medal, with Great Britain now, who just seem again just so controlled, still down at 37 strokes per minute. 3 of that GB team won a gold medal in the 8s last year at under 23 level, and they've teamed up with Marcus Shute there in the stroke seat, who is setting a really good pace, and they are with every stroke getting the most meters out of their strokes compared to the rest of the crews.
Yeah, and they are really moving. We warned everybody about that strong third 500, but they are keeping that speed high in this last 250 of the race. I think GB keep moving away from the Australians and the Americans. I think that's the 1, 2, 3 at the moment. China with the work to do to get that bronze medal, but GB really showing their colours here. Wonderful to see them slightly higher. I think the first time we see this crew going up to rate 40, and they can pile on the power and move away. They've broken clear water from the bow ball number 4. That's the Australians clinging on to the silver medal. The Americans sprinting them down for that medal, but I think they're not going to get it. GB will claim a gold medal here in the final of the men's 4. Dominant victory by GB. The Australians done enough to claim the silver, and the Americans not able to sprint through, but a bronze medal for them ahead of the People's Republic of China, and Romania together with South Africa will finish 5th and 6th.
Great celebrations there from the British crew claiming the gold medal there in the men's for Australia, having to settle for that second. They had such a dominating first half of the race. And then USA really strong, rowing through People's Republic of China. Just didn't have enough to catch that a silver medal from Australia. But we will see them on the podium a little later on. But now it is time for the medals to be given to the women's four. And once again, the smiling faces of all these athletes. We have Spain, we have USA and Great Britain coming along.
And the medals will be presented by a World Rowing Vice President of World Rowing Council member Gwyn Batten, together with the OC board member Moritz Pilaski. And here is an ecstatic Spanish women's four, and we were chatting off air that it was an amazing race by these Spanish athletes, and what a performance for them to get the bronze medal.
Yeah, Spain's very first medal in the women's forward under 23 level. Their best result was last year's fourth. So this is a special moment for Team Spain.
Yeah, you can see the mix of emotions here. Big smiles, but tears not far away. And it's amazing to see. I think they weren't expecting this. They went out to get that bronze medal. Credit to them, they did brilliantly. But still, to win ahead of the Netherlands, Romania, that's an amazing thing. Here are our silver medalist, Great Britain, a valiant effort. They really, went out to get the gold. And they had to settle for the silver because of that American crew. But Amelia Gleed, Acorn Cassidy, Ellie Kate Hutchinson and Rhiannon Luke rode an amazing race, and silver medal. Oh, that little bit of a hug. Oh, wonderful. I think Morris Polanski here. Yeah, that's a wonderful Duisburg Sea Dragon. But now we go to the world champions, the United States of America. Here we are. Claire van Praag, together with Phoebe Wise, Annika Jeffrey and Ella Wheeler, who were perhaps the bookies' favourites, and they came into this final in really good shape. But you still have to win it.
Still have to win it for sure. And Great Britain certainly made them work for that gold medal. It wasn't an easy race for them by any means. What a great performance, meaning so much to each and every athlete up there on the podium. And let's hear it for the national anthem of USA.
with that, we move into the penultimate A final of the day. We go back to the start for the under-23 women's quadruple sculls. And again, I think there's a chance of an American medal in this final. We'll give you a quick lineup. We have Germany, Italy, the United States of America, defending nation, Great Britain in lane number 4, Poland, and the Kiwis, New Zealand, in lane 6, closest to us. This is the crew from Germany, struck by the experienced Charlotte Burgdorf on the right-hand side of your picture. And this is a crew on the rise, 4th last year, and Italy will look to improve that performance here in Duisburg. Right next, alongside the Italians, we find the crew from the United States of America, quickest to qualify in terms of time for this A final, but the Americans were pushed all the way in the semi-final, and that cannot be said from the crew that is in lane number 4, Great Britain, who actually cruised to an easy victory. Stroked by Zara Purvey here in the stroke seat from Reading University. So they'll be the one to watch together with the USA. Here is another quality crew from Poland. Gabriela Stefaniak in the stroke seat with lots of stars already. I think that's a crew thing. Wonderful. And right next to the Polish crew we find the Kiwis. A relatively young and inexperienced crew from New Zealand, stroked by Madison Neal. We'll see what they are able to produce here in their A final. And already under starters orders. And off we go. Clean start all round. Quick start by the British, not waiting around. I think they know the Americans have a quick opening 500, but also a pretty rapid start on the far side for Germany and Italy.
Yeah, they certainly are all going to go for it here right from the very start. We're seeing a little look around there from the Italian crew just to see how they are doing at this point of the race. They were second fastest through the semi-finals behind the crew from USA, but as Tim mentioned, we haven't seen the full potential, the best out of that GB crew yet. They haven't been massively pushed at all. It is looking like Poland, though, with a nice start as well. They're the second in from the right-hand side, but that German crew with Italy over on the very left-hand side. Germany really going for it, as you mentioned. Stroke there by Charlotte Burgdorf. We saw her race the single at World Cup 1 earlier this year, winning a bronze medal at under-23 level last year in the double scull. A new crew for her today, but they are settling into this really well.
Yeah, she's leading that quad out of the blocks and putting themselves in a good position, perhaps not for the gold medal, because I think based on previous performances, I think that's too much to ask, as Great Britain now overhaul that early lead from Germany, going with them Poland, and the Americans now also finding that little bit of extra speed. They weren't the quickest in that sort of post-start, that second 250, but the American bow ball number 3 coming back into this. And it is the USA just 4th at the moment, behind Germany and Poland, and of course GB.
We'll see things start to settle down now as they go into the second quarter of this race. Here we have that German crew still looking strong as they sit in, it's actually 4th position now at the moment. USA just ahead of Great Britain. Poland doing really well. 3 members who won that bronze medal from this boat class last year at the under-23 champs. They're back to do similar, if not better here. They're currently in that 3rd position ahead of Germany and Italy, who are going back and forth in that 4th position.
Yeah, here are the American. Is the American quad, quickest boat on the water, and will you have a look at that? I don't think I suspected this to happen this early in the race. We're not even at 1,000 meters yet, and the American speed is already showing because they've just come into the lead. They're a canvas ahead of Great Britain, and that's well. Good race plan. I think the Americans now putting themselves in a great position. You can see wonderful from the picture here that the Americans have a canvas ahead of Great Britain in silver medal position, with Poland now occupying third and that bronze medal slot.
Yeah, USA there, stroked by Sumner Kerr. We've seen her at under 19 level back in 24 and back in 2023. Behind her, we have Catherine Serra winning a silver medal in the 8th last year and the year before at under 23 level. A lot of international racing experience, but Great Britain are not letting them get away too far at the moment. Bronze medal at the moment in the hands of Poland, but Italy, we know they can be aggressive. It's a new combination. Maria Lanciano there in the 2 seat, coming from the coastal, in particular the beach sprints, and joining 3 flat water rowers, and they're doing really well here, potentially within that bronze medal position, currently sitting in 4th.
Yeah, I think they're going for that bronze medal. I think the Italian boat just had slightly quicker boat speed at the moment. Poland not necessarily fading, but I think a really effective push by the Italian quad as the Americans continue to stretch out. It's a full length lead now for the Americans. You can see they're just about to break clear water back to the quad from Great Britain, and that would be an amazing result for the Americans. Of course, the American team not known for their sculling boat. Sweeping is the main discipline for the American women team mostly, but this would be an amazing result, and I think they are walking away at the moment. Great Britain not able to respond. It's a clear water margin now, so we'll have to keep a close eye on that crew from Great Britain for the bronze medal behind them. Italy moving more securely in that. It's about a canvas, perhaps even a seat for the Italians now ahead of Poland. Germany, I think, slipping back too far for a medal. New Zealand also out of it, but that race for the bronze is the one to watch.
Yeah, the Italians really went for it there. They're up at 37 strokes per minute, something they've been sustaining pretty much all the way down. But this is incredible from USA, looking so strong, still holding 37. Great Britain starting to wind up. They have 500 metres to go here now. They're down at 3.5 seconds on that really strong USA crew who look solid and don't look like they're going to fall apart at any moment like we've seen other crews do in these last 500 metres. They still look like they're fresh enough to take it up another notch if they need.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Americans not going all out. They are at a very consistent 38 strokes a minute for the last 300, 400, 500 meters, and they look at the gap they're opening up. They're the quickest boat out on the water. GB now pushing, I think, more of a defensive move for that silver medal than an aggressive move for the gold. We're moving into the final 250 meters of this race, and the Americans look absolutely stunning. Mill-pond conditions here on the Wedau Regatta Strecke, and they are making the most of it every single stroke. The Americans flying towards the finish, the British not finding the speed they have to get that gold medal, and behind them the Italians really moving, really sprinting, equal in speed to the British, and the Italians now looking to get that better result compared to last year.
Final 100 metres here now, and USA, we can only see the strokes woman. They're looking flawless here now on these aerial shots, just too quick for Great Britain. Great Britain definitely starting to match the USA speed here, but this is all about USA. What a race here, claiming the gold medal in the women's quadruple sculls. They are absolutely delighted with themselves. Great Britain going to take the silver, and what a great race from Italy there. So thrilled. They are claiming the bronze.
Yeah, wonderful to row with that new Maria Lanciano, who stepped into that Italian quad in the 2 seat, and then going from a 4th place, missing out on a medal last year, and now on the podium together with the USA and Great Britain. What a treat. Germany, I think quickly saw the German quad 4th across the line, just ahead of Poland, with New Zealand completing the field. And we go back to the victory pontoon. It's time for the victory ceremony for the under-23 men's 4. I think Marcus Schutt not quite recovered just yet. I think he will be a lot happier in a few moments. Here are the Australians. Medals presented by World Rowing Vice President Annemarie Phelps, together with the OC board member Thomas Cooper. First medal to be handed out though, it's the bronze medal for the USA.
Big smiles all around here from the crew. Timothy Parsons in the bow seat, Cian Amanian in the 2 seat, Jordan Daikima in the 3 seat, stroke there by Tobias Finn. Great performance there put in by USA. One of the slower crews through the semi-finals out of the 6 crews that we saw at the start of the A final. But here they are up on the podium, and that's what matters.
Yeah, that consistent speed from 500 to 2000 really helped them to get this bronze medal. Silver medal for Australia. Great performance by Alec Hoskin, and then of course the twins, you can't really miss it, Matthew and Daniel Cashman there, who provided the power in the powerhouse of that boat, and together with Montgomery Martin, who provided this crew with that brilliant rhythm, sees them to a silver medal performance here. And it's always interesting that the bronze medalists are usually a bit more cheerful than the silver medalists. I think the Aussies, rightly so, I think they were in the race for the gold, but this crew was just a bit too strong and powerful with the Great Britain. Benjamin Mead here in the bow seat, together with Tristan Wenger and Cameron Tasker, and of course the stroke of that crew, Marcus Schutt, the wonderful, yeah, here he is. Yeah, he's still not completely recovered, but he has his gold medal. A little bit of a smile as well, so that's great to see. And that GB crew adding to their medal tally as we hear the British national anthem.
A final of today's racing coming up, and it is now the time for the men's quadruple sculls. This is going to be a fast race. 6 crews competing, lining up all of Czechia, Poland, Germany, Great Britain, individual neutral athletes too, and Switzerland. And I know, Tim, this was one of the races you were looking forward to most.
Yeah, particularly this race, and the race between Germany and Great Britain is, I think, one to watch. There's basically 2 races within this final. There's the race for the gold, between Germany and Great Britain. And then there is the race for the bronze medal. This is the crew from Czechia. Interesting crew. Tadeusz Marčanek in the stroke seat. Crew who in the semi-final were quicker in the second half than they were in the first, so it's a negative split crew, something to watch. This is the crew from Poland. They had a really strong third 500 in the semi-final with Daniel Galeza there in the stroke seat. Here's one of the favourites for the gold medal, the home favourites crew, struck by Mats Schmeitz. And this is really a crew that goes out fast and tries to hold on to that early lead. And I think if they are going to win a gold medal, they'll have to be absolutely flying down the first kilometre to perhaps shake this crew from Great Britain, struck by Nathaniel Gordon. Because this is, compared to the Germans, a slightly slower starting crew, but they have a very consistent speed, and especially the middle 1,000 is amazing. Here are the individual neutral athletes. A new member in that crew is the bow Maxim Ibruski. He has come into this crew, and this crew also did something amazing in the semi-final, racing a negative split. And here is a crew I personally like, this Swiss crew. They are very consistent from start to finish, stroked by Nicholas Chambers, who won a bronze medal in the pair last year. We'll see what the Swiss are able to do against all the might of Great Britain, Germany, Poland, Czechia and the individual neutral athletes to their left. A few more minutes to go, and interesting to see, because it's always these crews will have looked at all the data available to them, and are you going to change your race plan based on the other crews? I think Germany definitely want to watch to start out fast, but Great Britain will know that, and they will not be left behind, I think, in the first 500 meters. We'll wait and see. Under starters orders, the red light is on. Concentration all round. Last final of today. Green light, the buzzer is off, and as we expected, a very fast start by the Germans. They really shot out of the blocks, but Great Britain, not to be left behind, also in it. And right beside that German crew with the bow number 2, Poland also moving out very confidently, together with Czechia, Switzerland and the individual neutral athletes.
There we had the beautiful 50 strokes a minute out of the Polish and Great British crew as they took their first few strokes. Everyone's starting to settle a little bit here now, but we'll generally see quite high rates here in these boats. They're very fast boats with that early lead, though. Germany looking good in the centre lane, but Switzerland, Tim, you called them out, they're very consistent throughout the whole race, and they're looking pretty strong at the moment too. Yeah,
good start by the Swiss, and if they can keep that consistent pace all the way down the course, they might be an outside contender for the bronze medal. Here is another one of those crews going for a medal. Certainly they'll aim higher than the bronze, I think, but Poland also moving out really quickly. An interesting crew to keep an eye on. I think Czechia not really able to keep pace with the front runners at the moment, but the Polish now actually taking the initiative. We've crossed the first timing mark already 500 meters gone. Poland lead Germany and Great Britain for the 1-2-3. Switzerland fourth at the moment, ahead of the individual neutral athletes and the crew from Czechia.
I feel like Poland have something to fight for, because 3 of them were silver last year. They finished second in this boat class at the under-23 Worlds, and this year they're joined by Tristan Hervet in the bow seat, who came out of last year's double scull. So they have something to prove. They've already, 3 of them have the silver medal at home hanging up. They want to add a gold to that, so they're going out to prove something. Germany, 2 of those were bronze medalists from last year. Great Britain has one returning member who was 4th. Individual neutral athletes, 3 of those were 5th. So many. This is the one boat class where we see lots of people returning year after year to it.
Yeah, they've been around the block and trying trying new combinations with the athletes aging out, as the phrase is, and moving on to the senior level. You get a new teammate and you have to go and make it work and get the medals here. Poland, really impressive stuff. Wasn't expecting this based on the semi-final performances, but they're actually leading by about half a canvas ahead of Great Britain, who are now showing their speed in this next phase of the race. We approach halfway. We're nearly at 1,000, and Great Britain now pushing on, drawing level with this crew from Poland, and then sandwiched in between them with the bow number 3, Germany, now starting to feel the pressure.
It's a perfect day, perfect conditions, perfect weather for everyone to get the best out of themselves. All they have to do is go out there and execute, get the best out of themselves, because they don't have any wind to contend with, any conditions that they have to contend with at all. It is perfect for this. And look at the speed that Poland are up at here, 20.5 kilometres per hour. In fact, they're going up here now again. They have 800 metres to go. They know they're going to have a battle with Great Britain and Germany for this gold medal, and they're trying their best to hold on. Yeah,
you can see the 3 front runners. It's clear water now down to the crew from Czechia and the crew from Switzerland. So I think we're going to divide the medals between Poland, Germany and Great Britain. But who's going to get the gold? I think Great Britain now definitely pushing in this third quarter. That was their strong suit yesterday in the semi-final, and they are using it once more to close down on that Polish lead. But the Polish still a canvas ahead. Also pushing on is that crew from Germany, up at 38 strokes a minute, and a little look there by Matthew Long in the bow seat of that GB quad now to the Polish, and really moving that shell as fast as they can. Nearly level with 500 meters to go. Poland just 0.4 of a second ahead of Great Britain, and Germany not far behind.
Great Britain are coming for the Polish crew. They're up alongside them. They're both at the 40 strokes per minute here. Who can hold on? Poland really took this race from the very start, but Great Britain now, you know, they're strong here. We know they can sprint. They're matching Poland here. Poland trying to wind it up here at the moment. It is Great Britain who are the faster moving boat out of the two of them, getting more out of each stroke, and here they go into the lead and starting to pull away now with 2:50 to go.
Yeah, we haven't seen this from the GB quad in the semi-final. They're up at 43 strokes a minute, sprinting for their lives. Poland yet to respond to the charge from Great Britain. Germany coming back into this as well, absolutely going for it, all well above 40 strokes a minute. I think GB has made that crucial move with 200 meters to go. And look at the Germans now rowing through the Polish quad. Every single stroke they're going for that silver medal. I think it's too far back to get the gold, but an amazing sprint by Germany to get a famous silver medal here on home water. You can see the looks from Great Britain to Germany. I think they don't know they have done enough. I think they know now. Germany for the silver, but it's a gold medal for Great Britain. Germany just half a length behind in silver. Poland, brave Polish push at 1,000 meters sees them getting the bronze medal, but pure elation for this crew from Great Britain. Joshua Matthews there, absolutely spent, together with Elliot Donovan-Davies here, who's congratulating his stroke. Nathaniel Gordon from California, Berkeley, and Leander Club. They get that gold medal, but what a sprint from Germany. Amazing stuff. Poland clinging on to that bronze. And just to confirm the entire result of this A final, the individual neutral athletes got fourth, just ahead of Switzerland and Czechia, who lose the World Championship title they won last year, but I think a worthy successor here in Great Britain.
Absolutely incredible race there. I would have loved to have seen if Germany had an extra, if the course was that little bit longer, would they have come and taken it from Great Britain? Should they have started that sprint a little earlier, I wonder? They had some charge on the way home there.
Yeah, I'm afraid we'll never know. But it's an interesting thought. I think Germany had the superior boat speed in the last 150, but there was fortunately for them, the course is 2,000 meters long and not 2,100.
It is not, so they'll have to settle for the silver. Well done to all crews there. We'll see them at the victory ceremony just in a little while, but we have one more victory ceremony to go. But that actually concludes our A finals for today. So all the finals, all the medals after the next two victory ceremonies will be given out. But we do have some racing coming up later on, Tim.
Yeah, sure we do. We have the heats of the mixed doubles, and it's just the heats, but it's something I am looking forward to because it's the first time we have these mixed boat classes here at the under-23s. But let's dive straight back into the action at the victory ceremony because we have the women's quadruple sculls lining up. Here are the Italians looking very pleased. The USA and, of course, Great Britain. And the medals are presented. You can see him just walking through the shot by World Rowing President Jean-Christophe Roland, together with President of the State Sports Federation of North Rhine-Westphalia, Stefan Klett.
Bronze medal going to Italy, looking very, very happy. We had a couple of these rowers finishing off the podium last year. Naomi De Vicenzi in the bow seat, Aurora Spirito in the tree seat, Irene Gattiglia in the stroke seat. So just off the podium, but this year they were joined by Maria Lanciano, a renowned beach sprinter in Italy. We've seen her at the World Beach Sprints over the years, and here she is, her first international flat water race, winning a bronze medal at under 23 level.
Yeah, that's a decent result, I'd say. Well done to Italy for that amazing race. Yeah, and a wonderful, wonderful performance, stepping it up from fourth last year, and then with one new crew member getting that bronze medal is amazing after all the training they did together. Of course, then we go from the bronze medal we go to silver medalists. Great Britain. An amazing race going side by side with the crew from the USA right up till the last 300 meters. We have Olivia Cheesemer, Lara Grant, Grace Dawson and Zara Pove. What lovely scenes here. A little bit of a discussion going on. Not sure what they're talking about, but
wondering where the sea dragons are in Duisburg, I think.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, is this the local Nessie then we know from Scotland? We'll have to ask around as we go from that silver medal performance by Great Britain to the new under-23 world champions in the women's quadruple sculls, the USA. Big smiles, big cheers all round for Leah Hen, Madison Kieft, Catherine Serra and Sumner Kerr, who stroked that crew. And not sure, but if it can't be the first medal in a sculling boat for the USA, but like we mentioned during the race, the USA all about sweep rowing. Great to have a World Championship title here in one of the bigger sculling events.
Yes, they've only ever won one medal in the women's quadruple sculls, and that was way back in 2007. So it's been a while since they've won a medal in this sculling, in the women's quadruple sculls. And what a way to break that cycle with a gold. But let's hear it for the national anthem of USA.
And that concludes the victory ceremony for the women's quadruple sculls. But please do stick around because we have one victory ceremony to go to. Of course, the men's quadruple sculls, that medal ceremony will be held any moment now. And that gives us a little bit of time, Niamh, to, well, maybe have a look back at the racing today and also a little bit of a look ahead to tomorrow. So we had 10 A finals today. Loads of amazing racing. I think a few performances which we were expecting. I think what stands out for me is how well Australia are doing as a nation. Loads of, like the first 3 national anthems today were the Australian anthem. And for me, the standout performance was that women's pair of Gray and Searle.
Yes,
that was something to behold.
Absolutely. I think you've been talking about them right from the very first time we saw them on Thursday, and we absolutely knew we hadn't seen their full potential Thursday or yesterday in the semi-finals. And we knew they'd have a little bit of a harder race ahead of them today, and we knew we'd see a little bit more. They still, they looked like they absolutely gave it their all, but I feel like they could have taken up another level if they needed to. They just looked so composed at the end, so they were really good. I probably have to mention the sprint out of the Irish men's double sculls as well. That was really impressive. They looked like they were out of the medal contention for a while, but they sprinted back into that bronze medal position, so that was really good. As you mentioned, the Australian performances in the PR3 single sculls, in the women's pair, and also they collected a medal in the men's 4 as well. So they've been really dominating here today.
Loads of great races, and so many amazing stories from these 10A finals. Really pleased to see the Portuguese double doing really well. The scorching pace of the Greek men's pairs was also quite something to behold. And in the bigger boats, I think we expected high-level racing, and I think we were given just that by the athletes. So that's something I'm really, really glad we were able to witness here from our commentary position. That was today. Tomorrow, also quite a lot of finals still to go. More or less the same sort of structure tomorrow as we had today. We started with the B finals, and after the B finals we have a block of A finals. Anything that already stands out to you at the moment?
Yeah, we have those lightweight single and doubles. They're always good races to watch. All the high rates that we see out of the lightweights, and then of course the 8s and the singles. They're always, I love watching. I don't think anyone doesn't love watching 8 racing. So we'll have the men's and women's, and sandwiched between them are the single sculls. I think they're races that you're certainly looking forward to, and of course our mixed as well. Yeah,
we get the first A finals of the mixed events all at the end of the A finals tomorrow with the mixed double and the mixed 8, and I'm really looking forward to that mixed 8. Talking about mixed events, don't go too far because we have a little bit of a break now after this block of A finals, but we come back to you at 5 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. So we have a couple of hours break before we get the heats of the mixed double scull. So that's something to look forward to, I think.
It is indeed, and we do have that little bit of break because all those athletes in the mixed boats, they've raced over. They have to have come from another boat class or boat category, so they'll have raced already today. A lot of them in these A finals, in fact. So it's just to give them a little bit of time to rest and recover before they have to go again and try and get themselves a place in the A final.
I think we're about to start with the last victory ceremony of the day. I think all the athletes being lined up. The men's quads, of course, when they get off the water, you're absolutely spent. So you get a brief moment of rest and recovery before you are part of that medal ceremony. So you can see the athletes now being lined up. And, of course, the medals will be presented to them any moment now. What I can tell you at the moment that Jean-Christophe Roland, World Rowing President, will hand out the medals, and like with the PR3 men's single sculls, we once again see the president of the OC, Tobias Weisters, to hand out the Duisburg Sea Dragon. And you can see the boats here on the victory pontoon. So these athletes will have that little bit of a breather before they are part of the victory ceremony. You can see the Polish, Great Britain and the German athletes lined up. As you can see, the athletes from the women's quad, they have a brief moment where they can walk to their fans, have a little bit of a chat before they are asked to leave the victory pontoon. You can see the American athletes with a gold medal getting back into their boat, and perhaps we'll see them this afternoon in one of the mixed events. As you can see, that packed, the huge group of fans. I haven't seen so many German flags in quite a while. Of course, the German quad got that silver medal here, so I'm sure they get a big cheer when they are led onto the podium.
Here we have it, victory ceremony of the men's quadruple sculls, all gearing up to collect their medals. Some of these, particularly the Polish athletes we've seen on the podium the last 2 years, in fact, in this boat class at 123 level, so back up for a third year in a row. Different colours every year though. GB looking very happy with themselves.
Here.
Of course they are. Yes,
I think they are. The cheeky little smile there from the Polish quad as well. We start with our bronze medalist from Poland. We have, of course, Tristan Hervet getting his the bow of that Polish quad, getting his medal from Jean-Christophe Roland together with Igor Czekanowicz, Mikal Randa, and the man who led the action from the stroke seat, Daniel Galeza.
Yeah, those last three names you called out, winning silver last year, settling for bronze this year. Two of them actually won a gold 2 years ago as well, so they have, a few of them have the whole range.
The full range of medals. And here are the home favourites. You can see the crowd erupting. Here's the German quad. Brave out of the start, together with Poland. I think they played to their own strength rather than race differently, because they knew the strength and weaknesses of the crew from Great Britain. But Jakob Rastetter, Paavo Torres-Schwere, Yannick Sens and Mats Schmid getting their medals. The two returning members from last year in the centre of that boat.
Yeah, doing one better this year, adding a silver medal to their bronze medal that they got from last year.
And the new world champions from Great Britain. Gutsy performance. I think they saved the best race for the A final. I think that sprint was something to watch. Here is Matthew Long, who was racing in bow together with Joshua Matthews. Elliot Donovan Davies in that 3-seat, backing up Nathaniel Gordon, who was quite expressive when he rose. You can see the puff of the cheeks every now and then and the grimace on his face, but he is world champion, so that doesn't matter. And they've been handed now the gifts by Tobias Weisters for their win, as we hear the national anthem of Great Britain.
sports all around for these three nations, these three crews, Great Britain, Germany and Poland. And that concludes our victory ceremonies and our A finals for day 3 of the World Run Under 23 Championships.
Yeah, but plenty more of action here out on the water later today, because as we already mentioned, we still have the heats of the mixed double sculls waiting for us. That first race will start at 5 minutes past 3 in the afternoon, so we have a couple of hours of break before those heats. And again, like yesterday, thank you so much for tuning in with us. We'll see you in those heats for the mixed events, and hopefully also tomorrow for the final day of the Under 23 World Championships here from Duisburg, Germany.